Iron Fist, even though you use it with swords and spears and shit.
A sword's like a fist, but it's like long and sharp.
It's like a fingernail fist.
Yeah, a long coke nail made of steel.
Yeah. But like, there's definitely like fungi under it.
Mmm,
It's discolored.
those are my babies.
Yeah.
I know. I don't know why it's called fucking Iron Fist. But it is.
Use your fist.
I don't. I use a sword.
No, but you got it. That doesn't actually. Well, then just do the anime thing of having anime attacks that have names that don't make sense.
Yeah.
I use my iron fist, and you shing.
Stab somebody.
Oh no.
Oh no.
I ended up sort of doing that, but mostly just it's out of character, calling out what the fuck I'm. Yeah, cause like I'm gonna use whatever the fuck this thing is called, twisting serpent, whatever it was. Fuck. All my abilities were like, yeah, like weirdly martial artsy for some reason, even though it's all psychic shit. Yeah.
From your brain. Still not liking it. Ooh.
Do it, Omen. Stop being a little bitch and do anime bullshit.
No, I draw the line there. I like my anime. I like my D&D. I don't want them crossing over.
But
That's
it's so much fun.
Yeah, but your fun is wrong. That's it. I knew you fucking do. Alright, so here's the thing. A character sheet looks so weird, and that there really isn't one, but here's a list of macros. Do you have the
Yeah.
character builder builds? It says 4th edition, but you can use it for 5th edition. Something's fishy about this.
You'll never suspect.
I'd only play, possibly, if John plays.
What?
There you go.
So we can make our bard buddies.
Yeah, Bard Bros.
I think
We gotta
we're
be
all
enemies
going
of
through
Bard.
it on the Twitch.
I don't want to be a skald.
I want to be a pitch man with Omen, and we can do pitches all night.
As long as you have the pitch
Jordan,
ability.
we're all
it
coming
might be
through
an
on
encounter
the
power.
Twitch thing, guys. Our mics are live.
I need
Hi,
to grow a
Twitch.
beard like Billy Mays.
Hi, Twitch!
Mm-mm-mm.
I'm gonna check. Shit.
Oh, yeah.
Nuts.
All right, everyone. Thank you all so much for joining us this wonderful Thursday evening for some more Dungeons & Dragons on Lionhead Gaming. And since it is Thursday, tonight's game is Song of Rapture, as DM'd by Omen. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it, start rolling some dice, and find out what happens next to the Valiant 7. Monsieur Omen, what do you have for us tonight?
It was a sad night indeed. Overnight, we still managed to take watches. Luna, wanting to find her family so desperately, had used the syringe that Samantha kept from Paracelsus to extract her own blood and drop it onto the Bloodstone, a relic of the Zephyrtune tribe that would allow them to find each other if they got lost. And finally, after years of searching, she knew where her parents were. A town 333 miles to the east. Garen's Well, a place that she's familiar with, and that she's wanted for murder. It looks like Luna's not going to have that family reunion quite as soon as she had hoped. And Clyde had identified a dagger he had taken from Devora, and realized it came from the desert. He had asked Samantha about it, seeing that it had this very unique design and this sort of well that came from this emerald, it seemed. All Samantha could really remember was creatures like Devora, otherwise known as the Lamia. They tend to take different forms, and they embed themselves into weak-minded and weak-hearted groups, taking over the leader and eventually enslaving the group as a whole. When the night finally came to a close and sun rose the next day, they continued on their journey to the northwest, 32 miles, where they knew the Zephyrtune were waiting. But on the way, Clyde spotted some hoof tracks. It looked like a patrol of sorts, before the hoof tracks came towards us, scattered around in a random direction, and then went back in the direction we were already heading. And we figured we didn't see any other centaur tribes in the plains, so we just followed after them. It didn't take us very long before we could hear outraged screaming around a watering hole of sorts. Groups of centaurs surrounding groups of humans, the workers that we had found that were with the Zephyrtune tribe when we left them. Devora's magic had worn off, and Chief Kogar was outraged. But it looked like the tribe was split. Many of them were protecting the workers from the other centaurs who were trying to give a show of strength of sorts. And when we finally approached, Persephone tried to speak to him calmly, assuring him that Devora was dead, she couldn't manipulate anyone anymore, and that they retrieved the Bloodstone. But Chief Kogar wasn't going to listen. And even after he stated that he didn't want any magic to prove that she was telling the truth, Samantha still tried to use magic to convince him to listen to her. And instead, fighting ensued. And as we were fighting between Javen and Persephone, Mitty and Clyde, Chief Kogar was able to be taken down almost easily, just unable to speak, unable to really fight. And the other centaurs, seeing this and seeing more bloodshed among their own kind, they had to decide which fight they wanted to defend. The one of Chief Kogar, their chief who seemed to have gone mad, or the one where they didn't have to fight their close friends and even their family. When Kogar was finally able to speak, he asked for an end of the fighting. He realized that it was senseless. And the oath that he had once taken was not about protecting a stone. It wasn't about protecting this magical way of finding each other. It was about protecting the Zephyrtune tribe. And the Valiant Seven, successful in their talks of peace, Chief Kogar took the Zephyrtune tribe and they headed east, saying the humans were free to go back if they so choose. And at the end, or rather the middle of this relatively good start of a day, the Zephyrtune tribe, with a new friendship formed with the Valiant Seven, knew they can call upon each other if they needed their help once again. Join us tonight as we write this next chapter in Song of Rapture, where we should get paid, bring the workers back home, and see if this would work on the human side as well.
Alright, good shit, Mel. Give yourself some DM inspiration.
I have it.
Oh, then you're gonna have to roll 2d100s for me.
Let's murder these people.
Mm-hmm. More XP, baby.
I'm sorry you were witnesses.
Right, no, Gregory, we need the witnesses.
Yeah, we need them.
Pretty sure I heard somebody said everybody died.
Oh, okay, I got it.
Wait, no.
Everybody dies!
Let's see. One second. Clyde never misses.
Did I get him?
Come on.
Well, sure
Yeah.
hope we don't have combat today. Those are all your good rolls.
As
Okay.
Omen gets raptured.
Okay. Oh no. Hate it when I get raptured. Okay.
Goodbye now, goodbye!
As we do join the Valiant Seven, now on the road with about a dozen or so men and women, most of them seeming to be in rags now. They look like they were workers on the road. Some of them look like they have patches of armor left on their body, probably some of the guards who basically stood idly by and tried to help those who are being captured, but it's never taken. And as a result, you're walking with this dozen or so people back to the work camp, although in the middle of the day, having spent some of the day traveling from your last encampment to the Zephyrtune camp, you find it's going to be a bit of a stretch to get there. You realize with how many? 3 horses and about a dozen or so extra men, probably not going to be able to outrun them or walk with them rather at a fast pace. It might take a little bit of time, as if you're trying to keep pace with these followers you now have, it'll probably be about 2.5 days or so. So anything you want to do on the road as you guys travel down southeastern, very carefully making your way through a couple nights of travel.
Mostly just leading the horse, probably having a couple of people ride on it, whoever seems the least used to long walks, if anybody's hurt or injured or just, doesn't look physically fit. Let the horse get them along, and I'm just trying to take care of people as they go, as I'm trying to figure out if everybody is from Broken Ridge or if there are people that came up to work here that are maybe from Oakwell or somewhere else.
Sure. Just having some casual conversation. Probably one of the more normal-looking people of the group, Greg. People are pretty approachable to you. It seems like a number of the workers themselves are from Broken Ridge, although a couple of them seem like they're from a bit farther away. A pair of them a bit, not stout, but sturdier in their frame, claim that they're just some residents from Ranhold, called in across the way while they were in Oakwell after they heard there was some trouble up on the road. A couple of them are from Oakwell, although not quite recognizable. There are quite a few working hands around the town that almost is butting into a city that there could be some almost faceless men to you. But yeah, most of them seem to be from Broken Ridge. The guards themselves who came to help these people are all from Broken Ridge.
Paying most of my attention to the people.
Sure.
I'd want to corner Persephone at some point, probably at night on a watch.
Oh, Jesus.
One of the nights
Way
you
to
am-
say that.
I say no.
Well, one of the day's purse would try to send an animal messenger to fly back to the workers' camp, see if it would get there. Would it get there before us? Would I know that?
Yes, especially at the pace you're working at. It would take a bit more magic out of you to actually accomplish that, considering these animals can fly and move for about like 24 hours straight, which is pretty good for their distancing, but they're not as fast as horses across the land. They're just kind of tiny little birds taking their time. But probably like if you spent what is it? Like I want to say a 3rd or 4th level spell, it would bring up to 48 hours, which you could easily get there in time.
Yeah, the goal is that she would want to get a message out to Captain Martone to let him know that they're coming back, just in case Lady Blackburn happens to show up and ask what's going on.
Gotcha. Okay. And Clyde, did you want to corner her on one of these nights? Make sure that everyone's resting around a campfire, and seems like everyone, probably except for Samantha, is sleeping and relaxing.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
I'll have a private conversation with just Persephone.
Okay.
You can catch her while she's writing letters home.
Okay. If there's anything else, your 2 days of travel are relatively uninterrupted.
Oh, okay. In that case, at some point, I would proposition the group during the night, like if we needed to sort of have like a sort of a group chat. It's been a while since we've actually been able to like talk to each other about anything. You know, I assume we kind of camp like nearby the civilians, but not necessarily just like right on top of each other.
Sure.
That's a good hit die.
So it's just like, hey, before you all go to sleep, do you know, on your mind anything, any plans we gotta compensate for, anything changed? That sort of conversation. Just opening the door for that is all.
So,
What do you mean? We got to get these people back to Broken Ridge? You mean after that?
Yeah, after that. After we get paid.
We still have to get rid of that witch in the Elder Bark.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
I mean, we're halfway to Crossway, though. We could go drop off that scroll thingy.
Oh, yeah. Crossway's still a distance.
Scroll thing. That's
A witch.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. There's this witch in the Elderbark Forest near Thistle. She was part of a coven that used to kind of protect the Elderbark, and then she went bad. And we need to get rid of her, because we have a friend who is cursed, and she can't leave the town until the witch is gone.
You mean the witch is dead?
Yeah.
Yeah, the friend, Marjorie, she's the one that helped us out with the whole hobgoblin thing when we were chasing after that. We learned about all that nonsense. Sort of owe her one.
We also have her sword that was her mother's that we said we were going to use to kill the witch. Speaking of which, where is that sword?
It's safe back in Oakwell. If we go hunting for that thing, I'll go get it.
Safe like the walls that let a bunch of fire goblins inside?
I mean, it's safe
what
as it's gonna
happened?
be.
I mean, safe like the chalice that got stolen?
I mean,
it says
But,
it's
like,
safe.
after all of that happened, Bea has been on top of the defenses in Oakwell.
Yeah, the place has turned into a damn fortress, and it sounds like they've been getting a handle on the whole hobgoblin thing.
I mean, it wouldn't have been a problem in the first place if Bale was confident.
Hey,
Hmm.
You really don't like her, Luna, do you?
I mean, at the time, we weren't exactly expecting people to sneak up in the church and start roaming around.
It is usually how surprise attacks work. They come when you don't expect them. But you're right, the adventurers that we had seen when we came back to Oakwell, I heard they'd been making relatively good work of the goblins and hobgoblins to the south. Some deal with a forest fire, probably dealing with the Embergrin. I do not know that we've necessarily seen the last of the Black Furies, but they were quite beaten when we left.
I tried to pick Marjorie's brain to see if she was able to recall anything when we had her connect magically, but I mean, I have like a vague sketch she worked on in my journal, but still not necessarily an exact spot on the map as to where the fortress would be.
You talked to
Yeah, I
since
visited.
we left?
Well, when we came back from Stroma, I had stopped by in Thistle before I went to hang out with the Gloomroots for about a month.
Alright.
Yeah, I just wanted to
doing
check
all
on
right?
her. Yeah, she's doing good. Her magic isn't as crazy as it used to be. I think part of that is because she knows she has friends, and I also popped in to say hi just to know that she hadn't been forgotten, because I hadn't been writing to her.
And she fixed her bed.
Next to bed.
What?
Remember it was broke? She broke it that one day.
I didn't check her bedroom. I just popped in for like afternoon tea and said hi, and then I continued into the Elderberg.
Clyde, what do you know her about her bed?
Well,
Do
maybe
I have to tell Barga that you've been in other women's rooms?
I wasn't in the room. Mitty was.
What? Well, it's good to hear she's doing all right, and yeah, I mean, after all this craziness, it's hard to think going back there, but that is certainly something left undone. Y'all, I mean, it probably means more to us some than others, but y'all all still up for that?
Well, David killed a witch before.
I'm trying this new thing where I give people my word and then actually follow through with it. So, I think in this case, certainly.
I mean, I just follow y'all. I'm down for whatever. A small, smile creeps across Javen.
Good to have you on board, Javen.
I'm sure we're more than capable enough now that we've dealt with the things that we've dealt with.
Yeah, it should be relatively simple. I think the whole problem was finding her, but maybe Marjorie's learned something since
Oh, I'll find her.
all that. But after that, honestly, I don't really know. We supposed to be getting a nice amount of coin out of, Briarwood. I don't really know. I'd have to sit and think about it.
If there's nothing else to do, I might travel. I mean, I haven't really gone that far beyond Oakwell, and part of why I left home is that I wanted to see the world. It wouldn't be a bad idea to explore Movia.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. That's a good idea.
Alright. But Luna, you said you found where your parents are?
Yeah, they're back where I was abandoned in the first place.
Oh, well, let's go meet him.
Problem. I feel like I said this not too long ago.
Yeah, isn't that where you kind of wanted for murder and me to not be around there?
I mean, I don't know if I'm wanted for murder, but it happened.
Well, I mean, just disguise yourself like Samantha does.
I mean, weren't you a little kid when it happened? There's no way they'd recognize you. You were a kid when that happened, right?
I was 20.
We could dye your hair.
No.
I don't know that we could dye it. It's already so dark.
Yeah. But if we were to take a bunch of berries and to just crush them up into a nice dye and just put it on top, even though our hair is dark, it will probably have a really nice color undertone to it. So maybe it will be like a really, really dark purple.
That will change literally nothing.
Yeah, I think they could probably recognize her face.
We'll just have Samantha disguise you.
Well, I mean, you could always do what I did if you don't want people to recognize you. Just cut your hair and put mud on your face and turn into a squirrel and run away.
Also, my powers don't work that way.
Oh,
We could
Don't
just
you have dirt on your face before you turn into a squirrel.
go in and bring your parents outside the town.
Oh, that's a good idea too, Gregory.
Well, we
You
are
know
so
there's-
close to Broken Ridge. There might be some things we could procure to allow you to, not necessarily alter your appearance, but make yourself look quite different. So perhaps we could look into that. Is there anything else on anyone's minds?
Are we gonna go to Crossway?
What business do we have there again? Something about a
We've
scroll?
got that scroll thingy from
The
the
scroll
island.
case that we found
The one that
from
you
the
wouldn't let us
bodies on
open.
Stroma that I think are of the Gilded Coffers.
Oh,
We were still never really sure if that scroll was stolen by them or if it's meant to go to another faction of them in Crossway.
yeah, I don't know if we gonna be getting in the good grace of those folks. I don't know if Jody told you about it, but I think there were fellas looking for her, and
Wait, why?
I don't really know. Jody's got her hands in a lot of different things, and she may have made an enemy out of them one way or another, to the point where they might have been people doing them break-ins.
They're horrible trackers. How do you not know where Jody is? Everyone knows she's in the Fallen Horse.
I do not know, but
Well, maybe not. Because before it was the Fallen Horse, it was the Proud Stallion. Like, I remember when we were having dinner with all of the nobles during the Monarch Festival, they didn't really seem to know what the Fallen Horse was, or where it was at the time. So maybe Joey's just been quietly building a name for herself.
maybe. But just a warning. There might be some bad blood there starting off, and I don't think we came to the conclusion they were involved in all the death and all that on Stroma, but I mean, maybe they were. Maybe they knew of it, and this might be bad business.
But if we try to open it, then the people that it was meant to go to is going to know that we opened it. And that could be bad news regardless.
Alright, so...
I'm just saying, we may be doing a favor for some bad people. So
Yeah. We just need to stay out of the district they control in Crossways, and I think we should be.
kind of just re-examine the scroll case and see what the marking on it was again. Because I don't have a thingamajiggy in my organized organizations.
Nep, you managed to go through some of your things and pull out this scroll case. Again, it looks relatively plain. There's just sort of this paper seal around the opening that goes down. It looks like it's got some sort of writing on it. Looks like maybe the small seal of like a box or something, like a container. But that's basically the only thing keeping the lid of the scroll case closed and sealed, is a paper seal. But apparently, through the use of someone's magical senses, they were able to discern that it had some sort of divination magic basically around it.
Yeah, but what did the paper seal say?
Just paper seal with some weird arcane sigils in writing.
I thought it...
There's a marker. There's a marker on that actually has a note attached. Basically says, let me go pull it up real quick.
Yeah, I could have sworn it told us who the thing was supposed to get to.
I think it just said for Crossway's eyes only.
But did it say dire consequences?
If it doesn't say dire consequences, we'll be fine.
Yeah.
But the gilded coffers for Crossway's eyes only.
From the Gilded Coffers?
It said the gilded coffers.
The Gilded Coffers for Crossway's eyes only.
The Gilded Coffers. Yeah, that's them.
You know something about them? I mean,
Yeah, they're the gang that's getting mixed up and all this. We gotta be careful.
gang.
They're a
gang.
gang, crime organization, syndicate, whatever you want.
Javen, now that you actually have a chance to look this thing over, because it's been sort of out of your hands for quite some time, sort of passed between Samantha, Persephone, and Luna, almost Clyde's hands. Yeah, very cryptic way of writing, very, like, not direct, not really informative, meant for people who are in the know. You, Javen, are a man who's in the know. This definitely seems like something the Gilded Coffers would be using to pass messages between one another.
You know something about the coffers?
Yeah, I've been to Crossway. That's where there's. Hey, just
I mean, spit it out, man.
I told you. They're basically monopolizing crime. If that makes sense. They're basically pushing everyone out, extorting businesses, all that, yada yada.
They are infamous
Racketeering.
for strong-arming things for their clients, and have in some cases even shipped people for other people.
Oh, you know something about them, Samantha.
Just a bit.
Then, why
Seeing
didn't you,
one of their badges on Stroma sort of jostled my memory for that particular organization. I don't know a lot about them, just that they have a lot of money, and it seems a lot of power.
Well, yeah, they're the ones looking for Jody.
Then
I
we,
threw them
That's
off.
excellent.
we gotta do
Is it-
something then.
Are they the only group we have to worry about? I know Elmon mentioned Atlas Black from the East. And I think that's kind of important because the journal that we found that we had to give to Elmon was from somebody who I think was part of the Gilded Coffers just based on the journal entries, who seemed to have infiltrated the group Atlas Black, who went to Stroma, and well, the rest is history. Everybody's dead, I guess.
Yes, man. Did you and Luna find anything about Alice Black when you went down the credit card?
I did find some records just talking about their businesses. They do a lot of trading and merchant work by day, but there are some more nefarious activities that there have been, at best, tangent links to. Assassinations and things of the like. And perhaps
Yeah, we
even-
can't really mess with these guys. They're sort of on the level of Broken Ridge Noble.
So they
Oh, they're a noble gang.
No, I said they're on the level, Clyde.
Which means
They
they
are
have
nobles.
power.
They have lots of power. And as much as I'd like to have the fantasy that 7 people could take down an entire gang organization, it ain't happening.
No.
it sounds like they sort of known, huh?
They are. Their reputation precedes them.
By a lot.
Yeah, I bet they're not.
We can't really mess with these guys.
So then
You
what do we
can,
do
you
with
just
this
can't get
scroll?
caught.
But it seems like they are intent on messing with us, which is problematic. Because, well, Jody is part of us.
Yeah, and they're
Things
looking
are
for
right
her.
back in Oakwell.
Me too. I met their friend, the big old guy. Not
I mean-
the talkative type. Likes busting down doors.
Javen, you seem to know Jody for a bit, almost long enough at least. You know what they may be out of?
Do I know God?
You know that you've known Jody since she was relatively young. You actually had some passing, not knowledge, but acquaintance with her father, Oscar. And you didn't know her too well in her younger days. She only made herself known to you when she became a young adult and took over the stallion. What you know about Jody is she got where she is today through making allies and making certain trades with people that other vendors probably wouldn't dare to get involved with. You know that a lot of her growth and her ability to sort of manipulate the information in Oakwell comes from that experience. you known that she probably had a hand with the Gilded Coffers, maybe not recently, or maybe she did. It would make sense that she probably would have a connection to these people, and makes sense probably why they're after her.
I don't know. Truth be told,
I mean, if it's just
I'm in the dark as you are.
if it's a debt or something, then I mean, I just fell into a bit of coin. Should be able to help out.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, hopefully it's something that easy.
So is that the plan? We going to Broken Ridge, get paid, and heading to Crossway, find these fellas, and try to do what we can to sort of clear Jody from them?
I think, all things considered, we should get paid in Broken Ridge and get the things we need, and then head back to Oakwell. This unknown when it comes to the Gilded Coffers might need a more direct confrontation with Jody, and hopefully a potential resolution depending what the problem is. We do not want to go into Crossway blind and stumbling, and things might have already progressed in a way that is not favorable.
I agree with Samantha. If Jody didn't tell us, it's because she wanted to keep it a secret. Us going snooping around could make things a lot worse.
True, no. Y'all didn't show that scroll to her, did you? Ask her.
I hadn't. In all honesty, it sort of escaped my mind for a bit. I need to add it to my ledger of sorts.
I mean, if we tell her we sort of got a couple of run-ins with her myself, she
Maybe
she
she'll
talks
tell
about
us.
things every once in a while.
Yeah, maybe if we tell her that we know about them and what we know of them, maybe she'll share with us her involvement with them.
Plus, to be frank, I want to make sure that she's okay.
Maybe later Briarwood might be able to even help us out with it. I don't.
Briarwood?
Like Javen said, that they're on the same level as a noble. It'd be nice to have a noble in our coin.
Well, that's true.
Blackbird? I think Briarwood.
You know,
What's that
No
from?
way, piece of
That's
shit.
from that's from the campaign that will not be named.
we appreciate all of you who are here. Alright, so we'll get paid, go back to Oakwell, assess the situation, and if Crossway is the pressing matter, sorry to say, Jody comes before Marjorie. If it has been handled, hopefully in a positive fashion, then we can go to Thistle and be done with this witch and get Marjorie out of the trees for once.
I mean, who says that we have to deliver the letter? Right?
No, not necessarily that, but just if... I don't know.
If
There
Jody
are more
needs
than
our
one
help,
reason we might need to go to Crossway.
but bottom line, if Jody needs our help, she should come first.
Yeah, I'd love to help out Marjorie,
Yeah, I
but she
agree with
seems to
that.
be safe enough being protected by Shay. Somebody's out for Jody. Hell, I don't even like that we went on this trip, knowing that now.
Alright, well, if there's nothing else gnawing at your minds, then yeah, it seems safe enough. Get some rest.
Clyde, can I talk to you for a second?
Oh, sure. What's up?
Did you talk to Purse about the whole what you found?
No, not yet. I gotta go talk to her about it.
Oh, all right. I didn't want to bring it up if it was going to be a sole point.
Oh, I mean, it's too late now. I mean, they're all gone. I mean, find us, keep us, really.
You totally screamed it out loud at the end of the session when they were leaving. We're like, all right, well now that they're gone.
Sort of shouted about the things you found, and first didn't seem all that happy.
I didn't even hear her say anything really. I heard
I
some kind of
mean-
music come over the end and something about
Yep.
something about the dice rolling 20s and making your saves. I don't know.
Sylvanas
weird.
spoke to him.
It's a dream.
No, I'll talk to her about it and make sure she's all good. And if she's not, I mean, we'll just, keep her share. Because, I mean, if she doesn't want it, there's no point in... I mean, we could maybe donate it or something.
You could donate a share. She don't want to take it.
I know of like 3 kids in Oakville that could use it.
No, you ain't gotta go back that far. But I mean, church would always be happy with.
That's true.
All right, just give me a heads up. If you want me to have you talk to her about it. I know she's upset about how all this happened. So,
Oh, don't worry. I'll straighten her out.
all right, I trust in you, Claire.
Persephone! Oh, wait, what?
Just gonna say, I'm glad you sort of coming into your own, Claire. You found something, huh?
Yeah, I mean, Savalis balances us all out.
Good stuff, Claire. Alright, good night then.
Alright. Persephone,
Hmm?
do you have a moment?
Yeah, I do. And close my journal after signing. What's up?
How are you doing? You've had a pretty
fine.
big week here.
I feel great, actually. When we were going into this, I wasn't really sure if anything was going to work out, and I think everything just about went about as terrible as I didn't expect it to. But I'm glad it worked out in the end.
Of course it worked out. You were there.
Well, it's different. When I'm here, I'm not really a screw up, and when I was home, it was like I couldn't really do anything right. So, this was a pretty big week.
Well, that's good. I mean, we're not really who we once were back when we were with our families. We've grown, I think. It's kind of good to be around these people. I think they make us better.
Yeah, I think so too.
Persephone, I've been meaning to tell you something about me past. And I understand, if you don't want to talk to me afterwards. But Savalis has kind of taught me to speak the truth. I don't want to have any more secrets.
Okay.
I wasn't really a good person before I came here.
Well, that's a little surprising. That's not really surprising. Your family sounded like really bad people.
Oh, they were. Probably still are. I mean, with Gregory talking about monsters and things, I mean, in all honesty, I'd probably be considered a monster. I used to kill people, Persephone. I used to hunt them down, murder them, sell them back into slavery.
How did you feel about that? Was it something that you really liked doing?
I was
Or did you
good
feel
at
like you
it.
had to?
I mean, I was good at it, and oftentimes when you're good at something, you kind of like it. It's definitely a thrill from time to time. But over a while, you just kind of go numb. You just kind of lose your connection with other people. You just have to sort of disassociate yourself from those emotions.
And she goes quiet for a bit, just taking in everything that you're telling her, Clyde. But you didn't want to be like that anymore.
No. Not after I killed the children.
What?
I killed some children. I didn't know they were in the tent at the time. Just thought it was an old good dirty slave. I didn't know that he had a family and there were wee ones in there. I burned him alive, Persephone. I could hear the screaming, I still do.
I'm sorry, I don't know what to say.
In the end, I think there's always a little bit of something in us. Doubt, fear, pain. Something that we try to forget. But Persephone, you don't need to forget entirely who you once were. You learn and see where you are now, and who you've become, and just how much you've grown. Father Shape told me it's important to always remember who you once were, because then you can truly see the difference you've made, and also that you never go back on that path. You ain't a fuck up anymore, Persephone. You're a hero. You help people. You're a leader. You don't need to sell yourself short.
Yeah. And you can see Persephone's tears starting to roll down her cheeks as you're telling her all of this, Clyde. I don't see you any differently, Clyde. I mean, I do, but not in a bad way. I see you. You're a hero too.
And I mean,
And no matter what you used to be, you're not a Thimble anymore. You're Clyde Arthur. And that's all you really need to be. If that's who you want to be.
I just want to be a better person. Definitely helps being around this lot. And maybe not Samantha so much. She keeps me in balance, so.
You can't say that. She's awake.
Oh, she's fine. Her snakes are keeping her busy. She's probably thinking about how to get a new horse or something. Maybe we should buy her a horse. She'd like that. No, she'd want to pick out her own horse. Well, I hope one day you can write your dad and let him know the different of a person you are.
Honestly, I don't really write to Father. But
Maybe you should. You're not that scared little girl that was a fuck up all those years ago, Persephone. You're a strong woman. A great woman. You don't need to be in the shadow anymore.
Persephone goes in to give Clyde a really big, tight hug.
Christ, you're squeezing me!
It squeezed tighter, thank you. And I just sob.
Oh, here, have a good belly. It'll make you feel better. I'll just walk away and get ready for bed.
Clyde, give yourself some DM inspiration and also roll yourself a D100.
Oh man, that means I gotta type stuff.
Yeah.
Come here, mouse.
Okay. Do. Ooh. Nice. Okay. As through 2 nights of travel in the last half day or so until you move on through the night, the Valiant Seven finally reach on the morning of Wednesday, August 22nd, the Road Service Camp. And when you do, it seems like the people who've been staying there for the time being have already been roused and seem to be moving around and gather when they see travelers coming across the hills their way. And it's a bit odd looking because you see quite a few people around this camp, more than you left with. More people who were there. What's up, Persephone?
Did they clear my magic brambles?
It looks like most of it has been like the area where there should be tall grass reaching up and grasping at people. The actual hill looks like it's been grayed and then blackens down towards where the road is. It looks like after some inspiration following Luna's magic, they decided to scorch away all this excess vegetation. But as you guys approach... Oh, what?
I said I was so proud.
You're crying. Can't believe they use fire. I use fire. As you realize the camp is more populated. It doesn't look like there's guards. It doesn't look like there are more workers. It looks like men wearing, looks like light armor, maybe leather or so, with maces, axes, and cudgels at their sides. They look like more of the soldiers you saw following Captain Martom into battle. Only now there's not only a handful of them, there are almost a dozen or so along his side, as reinforcements have seemed to reach the camp. You guys sort of enter in, joining at the camp. Captain Martom greets you guys very excitedly, reaching out, trying to take and shake Greg's hand. Just seeing you come over the hill on, well, maybe one less horse than before, but now seeing people. 2 horses. We're seeing people. Not only you guys, apparently victorious, according to Persephone's message, but civilians, captives who follow you back into camp. And there's a lot of happy reunions, a lot of friends and family catching up and trying to see if anyone's wounded, anyone's been harmed. But it seems like everyone here is just happy to be back to some form of civilization. As Captain Mark Tomb, he just walks over and just seeing you get out, basically, you're probably not walking on your horse at this point, you're letting someone else ride it. Walks up to you, Greg, and just extends a hand and claps you by the forearm and gives it a harsh shake. I can't believe it. Did you actually do it? I received a bird by the air a day or so ago. I didn't think it was true.
Yeah, one way or another. There was some nasty business with all that. Some infighting and things. It's sort of complicated.
It was just one.
But it's done.
No, go on.
Oh, hey, Purse took the lead on this. You should probably talk to her.
It was just one really big misunderstanding.
I see.
Persephone saved the day. She's selling herself short. She's the true hero.
I must say that is very impressive. For such a young person to accomplish something so great and mighty. But it seems your arrival and your accomplishments are to the chagrin of some of our new enforcements, as behind you could see more of these tough-looking thugs just with a pissed look on their face, looking over the group, sort of biting at their jaws and just grumbling to themselves. And you can see some of them holding in their hands this crumpled up, looks like a sheet, like a parchment, but it's just like crunched up in their hands.
But I give them a really, really big smile. I'm glad you wanted to help out anyways.
It's okay. They probably would have died anyways.
That's also true.
I mean, honestly, if you knew there was a problem, maybe you should have just done something about it. Rather than waiting on someone to pay you for it.
Y'all, it's over.
As pay me for it, as one of the men walks forward and just throws down the note and seems to head back towards one of the tents, and you can see this note sort of fall at your feet, Persephone, crumpled up, and you see a big words splayed across the top, those that stand out greater than any other. 5,000 gold piece reward. as it seems like you found the bounty note. As Captain Martome looks back at the man walking away in disdain and sort of picks it up. Yes, it seems about a day or so after you left the camp, a courier had made his way down the road, off towards the southern part of Mobia. Seems he was carrying these notes, eager to get more workers to, well, come take care of the problem. Although it seemed you must have accomplished it before they could. Have you seen this? Is this what you... Did any of you know of this? As she hands you the note, Persephone.
Oh, of course not. We just knew that there was a problem. I'd found out about these centaurs when I came up here to Broken Ridge about a month or so ago, give or take. And we had other pressing concerns, but hearing it was still a problem when we got back from what it was we were dealing with, well, we are the Valiant Seven, so we took it upon ourselves to take care of this issue. Like I said, it is truly unfortunate that so many hands,
I hide my face behind my ring. It's like, Samantha, what are you doing?
I put my hand on Gregory's shoulder because I see his very confused looking face looking at Samantha.
Just looking back at her over my shoulder, looking back at the guy.
Bitch, what? But yeah, I say into my ring, holding the bounty in front of my face, like I'm reading it intently. It's like, Samantha, what are you doing? Samantha,
She's doing what she does. She's
Stop
lying.
I am curious, though. I've read this note. Was this just an act of good heart? According to your friend here's note, you sent them away. You found them home elsewhere.
Indeed.
Did you not? I must wonder then. Is this an act out of your kindness of your heart? Because as he motions toward the note, seems that coin has been paid for their lives.
That's actually why we tried to work very hastily. I didn't want it to come to that.
I'm sure we can see about getting compensated for our time, considering they are not, well, all dead, but they should not be Broken Ridge's problem any longer. Here, let me see that. Who issued that bounty?
Here. I'm gonna give it to Samantha.
You hand it over to Samantha. You kind of have to straighten it out. It looks like it's been crushed rather harsh in the middle, but it's easily legible. Again, splayed across the top in big words. 5,000 gold piece reward. And then below this sort of block of text, at the bottom sign in this very ornate-looking signature, you read the following. Since the beginning of spring, the efforts of the hard-working men and women of the Blackburn Initiative have been assailed by a tribe of vicious centaur warriors known as the Zephyrtune. The road cannot be built under such conditions, and progress has been halted. Their threats have turned to acts of violence and cruelty against the common folk and soldiers stationed along the growing road. As of July 10th, their heinous acts have even extended to the murder of travelers from the town of Oakwell. These creatures do not speak the common tongue. A bounty has been placed on the entire tribe, numbering an estimated 100 individual centaurs, all wanted dead. For those who can ensure the Blackburn Initiative that the Zephyrtune centaurs are dead, a reward of 5,000 gold pieces. Completion of the task requires a token of your success, as well as the written names of those who are involved in the fulfillment sent to the Blackburn estate, either by hand or by bird. Payment will then be distributed to the successful names once the construction of the road is complete. Sign at the bottom, this very ornate hand signature, almost taking up some of the block itself. Blackburn.
My eyebrow kind of raises as I read those final lines. Blackburn Initiative. I see. Well, they're in Broken Ridge, and we are nearby. We can see about being compensated. I'm sure not to the same tone, but well, a job well done is a job well done. As I just fold up the note and tuck it into my cloak.
Did you read it out loud?
Sure.
Well, Samantha, it says that you get paid when the road's completed. It's only halfway done.
That was for...
Honestly, they could go back to the original work site. It might feel like starting over, but it would be at least a straight road. And a lot closer, so... I mean, that's kind of what I was hoping. It's not only is the Zephyrtune tribe gonna leave the construction workers alone, but at least now you can build the road as originally intended to, kind of make up for it.
And we still need to submit the fact that we have taken care of this problem, Clyde, which it said by bird or by hand, and well, considering the shops available in Broken Ridge, I prefer to do it by hand.
You wish to go give the word to who? Blackburn Initiative themselves? In Ingard?
The Blackburn Initiative is based in Ingard?
Well, yes, that's the noble district of Broken Ridge.
Oh no, we're going to go speak directly to Lady Blackburn.
Yes, in Ingard. Are you working directly under her? Do you have an invitation?
Like I said,
part of the city.
we were
I
doing
don't know what
things-
all this nonsense is. We told you we were here the first time
Yeah.
we met you, Captain, and we were here from Lady Blackburn. I don't know why we're making this confusing.
I'm just confused. So if you have an invitation, I did not realize you were of such prestige. Not many men and women can simply walk into Ingard and speak to a noble. Usually it requires invitation, escort from Risan to Ingard.
So the fact that Lady Blackburn had asked us to handle this situation isn't considered an invitation.
I'm not certain. Many people work for the nobles. They usually get the business done through letters and birds. Not many people speak to the top of the top.
I'm a killer.
Consider it lucky.
But
I mean,
we
we
didn't kill
ask.
any
It doesn't hurt.
centaurs. How are we supposed to prove, other than the fact that the road is just going to get built? How are we supposed to prove that there doesn't need to be a bounty anymore?
That's what those people are for.
Yeah, I mean, there's a whole bunch of witnesses. Lady Blackburn, I mean, she came to the Fallen Horse, right, y'all? Like, y'all talked.
Lady
Where
Blackburn
was that?
came to...
Jim,
When
are
did
you
that
right?
happen? I don't. Gregory, are you
Fucking
dreaming?
Christ.
What?
Was that just a weird dream?
What in the hell is going on?
Oh man.
Excuse us for a moment. Party meeting, huddle up.
What the fuck are we deciding?
I have no idea what's going on. I'm sorry,
We're going to get
Captain.
in a circle because I'm confused too.
Alright, you need privacy.
I'm so
Just go
sorry,
away.
Captain. Apparently
Okay, not
there's
like
something
that.
going on.
Like camp?
What's the issue? What
I
are
don't
we
know.
hiding for some reason?
I have no idea. Samantha just started talking as if we weren't supposed to tell him what was going on. Does she know something we don't?
I mean, as soon as we showed up here, we talked to him the first time around. We told him that we were here from the Lady Blackburn's order.
Yeah, but we didn't want to tell him about the bounty. I knew that.
Yeah, that's the-
Bounty.
I thought we warned him about the bounty, telling him a whole bunch of people gonna be showing.
No, that was with the.
The problem with that is that after we mentioned it, he seemed to have gotten excited as if reinforcements were coming up, and at the time, that was based on the idea they were just going to be getting attacked. If we had let them believe that there was going to be a whole force to fight the centaurs, they probably would have rallied together and tried to find them on their own before we could do anything.
Does this guy look like he can actually completely hear us?
I mean, I'm standing over here. I'm trying to give you privacy.
Oh, I was trying to
Are we
talk to
talking?
him.
away.
We can talk into our
Use the
ring.
ring. Use the ring. We literally have a telepathic form of communication.
Nora, can you tap my ring so I can hear what you're saying?
I was trying to talk to the captain to keep his attention away from whatever it is they're talking about.
Right.
Fine.
Oh, thank you.
So, bringing it then? Alright. What is the issue here? What?
I don't
What?
know.
Samantha doesn't want to tell him that Lady Blackburn had spoken to us. And it sounds like Broken Ridge does things very differently than Oakwell. So
Well, I'm
maybe...
assuming we can't just walk up to a house, but we go there and we tell somebody, hey,
Yeah.
you know, people from Oakwell here that took care of the centaurs, she probably want to talk to us.
Yeah,
I bet
that's what
word
I-
get.
That's what I was thinking.
Or just, I don't fucking get. Just go tell her, and if she gives us the money now, good. If she doesn't, she'll give it to us later. Good. We'll buy some shite, and then we'll go.
Yeah.
Bada bing, bada boom, done. Let's go. Ready, break.
Samantha, is there something we don't know about? What is going
It was
on over
really
there?
interesting, though. She was actually a very peculiar-looking creature until she died. Oh, you all done?
That sounds horrifying.
It was.
You sound like a
Yeah, I believe so.
All
We'll
right.
figure everything out now.
I have no idea.
You
That's
see all
typical.
them? That one was talking to his pig.
We just don't say anything. I just say into the ring.
Well,
We the bottom line is we still need to notify the Blackburn Initiative that the Centaurs are no longer going to be interrupting the construction of the road. And at least you guys can go back to the original work site and start from there. I'm sure that would make them very happy to know that they don't have to travel a little further south for their trade route.
I suppose so. I'll send word back to see if they actually want to do that. We've made some progress on this road, but it would be good to actually have a straight road for them. That's a good point, Persephone. Alright. Well, if you would like, I could escort you up north. As you can see, we have reinforcements here. They could gladly stay and guard this camp for the time being. Isn't that right, men? You hear this collective groan, sort of just chorus out over this crowd of people as, again, many of them start throwing balled up notes to the ground, stomping them in the dirt.
now, you lot, do any of you want to return home to Broken Ridge?
Yes. Yeah, I'd like to go home. I've been sitting in a camp full of horse shit for a long time. I kind of miss my clean city. I think I might retire or live with my kids for a little bit.
That seems
Yeah, probably definitely doing that.
perfectly
Think I was in love with the
reasonable.
monster for a while. I gotta explain that to my wife.
I would not recommend you conversing with her about that if you want some free advice.
You
But-
have persuaded me.
I've been persuaded.
Well, I do not think we have a whole lot of time to waste. So I just kind of take a look, just past them for a bit to see what time of day is it.
It is basically early morning, maybe about 7 o'clock or so. You guys left early, like just the break of dawn on the day before, earlier this day, because you're basically 2.5 days away from them, and so you sort of pressed on through the dark early morning, and now about 7 o'clock on Wednesday, August 22nd, you're here.
Alright, well, Captain Martin, I appreciate your assistance and clarification and information, but I think we have business to attend to, and any of you that wish to have, well, as you've already seen, quite a potent escort back home, are free to travel with us.
Very well. I will say, you are, by name, the Valiant Seven. If it would not be too much, I may use your name next time I return to Broken Ridge. You
Why?
all seem very capable.
What's true?
I might know someone who could use men and women like you. There's a knight in Ingard, known as Sir Walter St. Cloud. He's had some trouble in the Silverwind mines to the north. He might be able to use someone who's capable of solving these strange problems quite easily. Samantha starts to inflate.
That sounds great.
Or he could send any questions to the Falling Horse in Oakwell, as we have other business to attend to. So
Oh, certainly.
I appreciate the. I mean, you don't have to do that. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thanks.
I sincerely appreciate your good word. Well, Gregory and should we hit the road kind of way?
Oh, we going? Yeah. Oh, all right. Captain, it was a pleasure. Thank you for everything.
Likewise. Valiant 7, thank you. Alright, men. Back to work, it seems.
And let's get these people on.
And just a quick Rolodex check. Do I recognize that noble name? Does it
Give me
have
a straight
any
history
lineage to it? All right.
while he does that, right before we left, Perce just asked Captain Martone if he sees anybody fucking up Zephyrtune tribe, just as a favor to her, help him out. Help out the tribe.
And he seems pretty amicable about that. Seems like, especially considering how possibly fragile this situation is now. There's a tribe that you didn't kill. You're actually sending them off to another land. There's people still hunting them. There's a bounty out there. Yeah, he'll certainly do what he can. People come to find the work camp. He'll direct them away from it, but he certainly seems. When you first thought you guys were doing this out of the kindness of your hearts, avoiding a bounty altogether and simply just helping the centaurs, he seemed like he actually was pretty receptive to that. You guys
15,
find yourselves. Yeah, 15. The name St. Cloud, sort of a strange name for a knight. Doesn't ring too many bells. It seems rather not quite posh, but there is something about the name St. Cloud that does stick out a little bit. Something that maybe you should know, maybe you once knew, but it no longer weighs in your mind. It couldn't have been that important.
And once we are a decent ways away from the road service camp, I know you all do not, or some more than others, take kindly to me lying to people, but there were quite a few other adventurers there, people hungry for coin, and, well, I'm sure quite competitive. The fact that we have an in with Lady Blackburn, the fact that we see her personally, is information I don't want other people to have.
What?
Yeah.
As someone who spent their entire life dealing with nobles, can you just trust me on that?
Yeah, 10%. I sort of like the gang thing. You don't really want high important people knowing that you're in high important places. Because you have high important place people, that makes you a target.
That's true.
Target? What?
People like keeping their... And when there's people that threaten the balance of power, say a bunch of adventurers that know noble and are in good standing, that could possibly potentially tip that balance. Nobles don't like that.
It's a very disturbingly intricate web. But
it's a bunch of noble shite, that's what it is.
Yes.
Oh.
Not to mention, Gregory, something I'm sure you know, is men are capable of doing bad things. And nothing motivates men to do bad things more than coin. Those men just lost out on 5,000 gold. Thanks to us. And while I'm sure we could cut them all down, well, I don't want to have to keep looking over my shoulder because we got an inside tip. And now we're a problem.
It could also look really bad for Lady Blackburn if people were to know she went on to Oakwood and contract people privately instead of going through the initiative, which sounds like it's supposed to be a group effort.
That I understand. Yeah, alright, I get that. All the other things, I don't know what the hell y'all talking about.
Well, can we go to Broken Ridge yet, or what? Or
we're on the road there now!
Let's go, alright?
Because I don't know, if that comes up, let us know, because I was caught out in the cold like that when I had my ass hanging out. I didn't know what the hell was going on.
We could have just pulled Captain Martone aside and tried to speak with him privately. I didn't really want to skirt around the issue with him. I understand why I didn't want any of the other adventurers knowing, but I didn't want to lie to him.
I mean, I just thought he knew what we were there for. He was going to call us out on our shit one way or the other.
Exactly. That was the most confusing part. It wasn't like he didn't know at all. He knew that Lady Blackburn, we were there to help.
It
Yeah,
seemed like
I'm
it had
sorry.
slipped his
I get
mind. So many questions.
I get the whole being a problem to Lady Blackburn. I understand she went out on a big limb to give us the time to do all this. She didn't have to wait around while we were doing everything on Stroma. Give us another chance. So I understand that. You really think it's gonna come back to bite her? Because people know we helped her?
Well, it might not be that we helped her. It might be because she asked us to help her because we would be a lot cheaper than if she got people from Broken Ridge to help her. And that probably would have made people very angry. Because it took us a lot longer to handle the situation than it would have if she contracted people from her city.
Yeah, that makes sense. Hell. Sorry, y'all.
Oh, no, it's confusing, Gregory.
Yeah, I was lost. I am sorry.
It's alright, I didn't tell you. I just sort of leapt into action, so to speak, at one of the things I'm very good at.
Well, I mean, that's why we have these rings. Maybe next time you feel we need to withhold
a code word.
You could just whisper into the ring and let us know, hey, we should talk in private. Like we tried to do to figure out what was going on.
No bird
That's
noises.
fine and all that, but it's a bit, it's not natural for me to always be moving my hand in front of my face. It's not a learned behavior of mine. But I will see what I can do.
I was thinking about trying to get it put on my ear. I think it would look better there.
But how would you talk into it?
I don't know. That's what I have to figure out first.
I'm gonna get my tongue pierced and just put it there.
Just put it on your lip.
I'm a snake lady. I can talk with my tongue pierced.
Nah, do it like little septum piercing. Septum ring.
Underside pierce. There you go.
Yeah, you're not talking, you're adjusting your ring.
So we sort of got a problem of getting back to Broken Ridge and trying to get into Engard. I guess that's one of them.
That really depends.
Part of the city?
Maybe if Lady Blackburn hears that we've come back and we've handled the situation, she might see us personally. But again, that could just be because we got lucky and she wanted to speak to us.
Either way,
Captain Martone only knew of the way that Captain Martone only knows of the way that things usually work in Broken Ridge. We probably are a special exception for her.
Yeah. Well.
And even if we're not, we still need to put the notification in anyway.
Yeah.
Right, we got along all way to go.
I've never been to Broken Ridge.
It's an interesting place.
I've been tired.
Welcome to the wall.
Is the wall?
The wall. Yep.
Wait, is it bigger than like Oakwell's wall?
No, it's it is. I guess. I mean, that's not the point. That's yeah. Okay.
Well, so we could see it. Do they have a jeweler there? You think we could
Probably.
see
They definitely do.
Well, that's good.
Good deal.
Samantha, you should probably sail them. I think you relate a bit more with, the tongue of the seals, maybe.
Thought you were a salesman, Clyde.
It's true, but I mean, it sounds like she knows these noble people better than I do. I mean, I could come along, but I don't know. I think that she's been here, so she obviously probably has some people she knows.
True enough.
Or she knows the nature of the market.
I actually do, but they have nothing to do with jewelry.
I mean, I don't know shit about gems, so y'all me.
Okay. You guys travel on for about just over 2 days. You're going a little quicker pace this time. Now that you're on the road, you can move a little faster. Even though the people tailing behind aren't on any horses, they're happy to be on some flat ground for once. And soon that winding road around the hills begins to somewhat straighten. It eventually bleeds into the made trade way between Oakwell and Broken Ridge. And on, what would that be? Friday, mid-afternoon, you guys begin to hit the foot of these forests, similar to the ones you entered when you entered the Bloodhelig Temple and fought those swirling masses of air. Only here, there's no temples, there's no desolate, destructive storms. It's just a small forest that leads up into the mountains, up along this sort of cliffside that eventually becomes this walkway, carved into the stone. Almost looks like it would have been dwarven craft a long time ago, but now it's since been taken by humans. As eventually, reaching high into the mountains, far above the ground below, you can see streams naturally running courses of water running along these mountains, pouring down the cliff sides next to this great bridge you guys walk upon. And eventually you see it, a huge arcing gate leading into a rather lovely and beautiful looking city as you guys enter the Rasan district of Broken Ridge.
Oh my god. It's
It's all damn
gorgeous.
crazy to me.
Oh, look at all the.
Eh,
Oh
You see
no!
one noble neighborhood, you see them all.
You didn't tell me there was so much water here.
It's mostly outside. As it just kind of occurs to me on the road thinking about it, Samantha would try to talk to some of the people that we saved, and try to find if any of them would be willing to account for what it is that took place. And who they
Basically,
are, what their
anyone-
names are.
Yeah, basically everyone you encounter, they're totally willing to. If you can point them in the direction of someone who needs to send a letter, or maybe just a guard who can possibly deliver the news, they're willing to give a name. They say that all workers in Broken Ridge, even the lowliest of them, have basically an account on their name. There's a record of them, and so it would basically stand a trial that, yeah, if someone was working on the road and they went missing like for a month or two, and they came to say, hey, these guys did this, they'd probably be a believable source.
Okay.
Well, how sneaky we won't be with this? The whole spreading our name around and thing.
Oh, I mean, we can let people know it was us that rescued them, as we'll have them account for. Also, I was going to say that I was going to try to draft a letter. Then, if they would express that they, that there's a tracking account thingy for them.
Oh yeah.
Then I would draft a letter of the events. And also use Persephone, who takes really detailed notes on literally everything that happens. And I would draft a letter for that, and anyone that would vouch for it, I would have them sign it, if they would be so kind.
Sure. Yep. Some of them aren't entirely literate. Their handwriting is simply when they write their name or something, they just sort of write this really loose form of common, but others are a bit more legible, and just the sheer numbers of them, it seems like you can probably get about a dozen names in total. Even some of the old guards who seem to be a little bit out of it now, no longer wearing their armor, wearing more comfortable clothing, or give their titles and their positions as well. Eventually you have basically, I'm assuming like a decently written letter just explaining the events, and a large chunk of the parchment itself is just made up of signatures and signatures and signatures and signatures.
Yep. And thanks to Persephone, the letters have dates as to when all the events occurred.
Down to the second.
Exactly.
All right.
When the sun was in this position in the sky, we arrived at the camp.
I of course condensed some of her superfluous details. But yeah, I'll just go ahead and thank them for that, because they're just getting home, and I don't want to have to disturb them and have to come speak to nobles and feel all that pressure and what have you, if they need not do so. So that'll be all I do then.
Okay. Yep. You guys sort of spend some time with the guards and the workers until eventually, express your happiness that they're back home and sort of begin to part ways for the most part. It seems like they no longer have a part to play in this. And it gives some of you some time to sort of look around this city and take in the sights. Greg, have you been to Broken Ridge maybe once or so delivering something for Jody?
Yeah.
It's always a weird sight because it's like Oakwell in a way, but the walls aren't wooden. They're made of stone, very, very elegantly carved. It's like every time you look around and see some of the architecture, you feel like you're at some noble's manor, but then it keeps going on and on and on. The walkways are made of cobbled stone, carefully carved into these very fine lines that snake off into this great network of pathways. And the grass, it's not simply like pasture rolling into the town like how Oakwell has. This is like nicely trimmed and well kept, as if, like on a noble's lawn. Bright green. And now that you're getting into fall, you can see some of the trees around you, these thick oak and some of them elm, are now starting to turn color, that beautiful autumn wood color. It's pretty much a sight to behold. And the people I think Luna's been here before too. Clyde, I think you haven't. I think this is probably your first time, as well as Persephone, actually being here. It doesn't really match the beauty that an elven city can grant, but for what humans can do and their simplicity, it's kind of awesome. As the people would part ways, and what are you guys doing in Broken Ridge then? This massive city. If you guys are confused or like, what do we do here? What is this? People would be easily willing to tell you that this is the Rasan district. Broken Ridge has 3 main districts to it. The Rasan, also known as the Maw, is the general marketplace. It is why people come to Broken Ridge. It's where things are bought and sold. It is where prices are made. And some people talk especially about a place called The Wall. It is this grand market, well over 100 feet tall, that is literally built into this massive wall at the center of the marketplace. Each segment of this grand wall is basically its own store, where the top of anything you want crafted or built or made or sold can be found. They say that those who work in the mall, who find their storefronts moved and accepted up into the wall, that move into the height of this wall, get to decide the prices. They can decide basically the monetary value of anything. If you are on the wall, you control the business.
So, we should probably go see if we could meet with Lady Blackburn, right? Maybe spend a day, but we should probably figure out, do we need an appointment or something? I don't really know how these things work.
I think we should start by going to Ingard and being directed to, I guess, where the Blackburn Initiative...
I do not know if we'll be able to go to Ingard, but we can go to where I believe it connects, and we can speak with perhaps an emissary of some sort that can carry this information to the appropriate ears.
What, is it like a private district?
For nobility, it sounded like.
If you ask around about Ingard, it's pretty obvious. It is the noble district, the smallest of the 3, only houses about maybe just over 100 some people. It's where the richest of the rich live, and it seems like nobody ever goes there. People come from Ingard. People don't go there unless you are given a special invitation from a resident.
Well, just tell them that you're a queen, Samantha. It should let us right in.
Yeah, I feel like that's not how that works.
Persephone, can't you just send an animal to someone that looks like Lady Blackburn?
I'd need to know where she is, though. That's the problem. I can't just send a bird to go flying around hoping to spot Lady Blackburn. I actually have to send them to a location, and I need to have kind of been there. That way I know it exists. Magic's amazing, but I can't just make up places for birds to go.
So we go to gate or whatever, we say, hey, we did the thing the minute Blackburn wanted us to do. Here's a letter from people. We gonna be at, I don't know any of the damn inns around here, but we pick one and say we won't be there if she gonna want to send somebody for us. Right?
Yeah, we could probably stay at the inn I stayed at last time. It was quite nice, actually.
All right then.
Like expensive nice, or
Yeah. Can't we afford it?
Just because you can afford something doesn't mean you need to buy it.
Yeah, that's true.
I wouldn't mind a nice bed.
I don't know if tomorrow is promised. Why sleep on a wooden plank? As I just kind of move in the direction of the gate and or tunnel and or bridge to Ingard.
And or airship, and or tram,
basically,
and or zip lines.
You make your way towards the western part of the city, looking for something that you assume will lead to Ingard. And honestly, it's kind of weird. Everything in this city is nice. It's well furnished, well polished, well designed. But it seems like the closer you get to the western side, the nicer it looks. Like things start to get polished up. You see banners, looks like marking some sort of prestigious houses. Until eventually, on the far side of the city, after about 3 hours or so of traveling through this great big settlement, you do find a rather long looking, like a tall arching gate made of gold, and this long walkway that seems to go along this great path sneaking through the mountains off into the distance before it fades into mist and fog. And you can see the marking
as we get
above.
closer, I'm just trying to smear the mud and blood off of myself and spitting on my hand, rubbing across my face, trying to pretty myself up a little bit, trying to straighten my.
And as you get closer, you can notice sort of the difference. The guards here, well dressed. Some of them wear actual nice suits of like chainmail, some decent armor for common folk. Here you do see a couple of guards standing. They wear this bright, like silver-looking half plate that comes down to their shoulders and these greaves, or these pauldrons rather, and then down their greaves go down to a pair of boots. It looks like they're relatively well armored and dressed. And you've probably heard of them before, Samantha. They're the Inn Guard, obviously, home to the most important people in Broken Ridge, is very well guarded, beyond just that you'd expect of Broken Ridge, beyond obviously that of Oakwell. They seem like they're members of the High Guard. They wear these helmets on their head, where it looks like a visor would come down, and when the visor comes down, it looks like a pair of very delicately carved silver wings pressed up on either side of their heads.
Oh, they're so shiny.
They do look very shiny.
It sounds really familiar.
What? You're saying Omen would steal something?
Should we just go talk? You just go
like,
talk
that
to the
sounds
guard.
like the Seraph. Oh, yeah. Does it just kind of look... If all I see are the guards in the Shining Mail, I don't see anyone that like looks like, a manager, then...
You don't have a haircut for that.
Karen.
I think Persephone's haircut is close to that.
You have a bob. So just go up to, whichever knight, I guess the left one?
Yeah, you see a definite left knight. He looks pretty left to you as you approach him.
Left from my perspective. Hi,
He looks very left.
I'm Samantha
Fucking lefty
Deus,
as fuck.
representative of the Valiant Seven, a rather prestigious, or up-and-coming, rather, adventuring group, and we have just taken care of some business for the Blackburn Initiative.
Man just sort of stares at her.
I am
Yes, sir.
unfamiliar with the standard process. I'm not from around here. I'm from very far south. But they put out a bounty to deal with some centaurs, and we have taken care of it. We just wanted to provide notification to the Blackburn Initiative. If you could direct me to the proper channels, or the person I should speak with, or what have you, I would be greatly appreciated. I just flash him or her this very pleasant smile.
You look at this very tall individual. You get to see, it looks like just those traces of golden hair coming down their neck. They look very tall, broad-shouldered, but you could just see, with your very careful eyes, through the slits in their visor, soft blue eyes, it looks like a very tall and strong-looking woman. She looks down at you, looks down, looking for something, looks like down at your hands for something, and looks back up to you. I assume you do not have an invitation to enter. You're simply sending word.
No, I do not have, as I kind of reach in underneath my cloaks and just pull out the bounty, which I've neatly folded up, and unfurl it. No, this is the bounty of which I speak. I was not given an invitation in particular, no, so, like I said, I don't know the customs, but, well, as you can see, it's a good amount of money, so I'll figure it out one way or another.
Looks over the bounty. Huh. I heard this was just recently placed. Very well done. She very carefully folds it up. And did you hand her the letter as well, or is she just...
Oh, no, the letter I have on my person, but I just have it on me for the time being.
From what I can see, it does say that you need proof of completion to send a writ. Do you have such a thing?
Oh, okay, yes, What is your name?
My name is Aura.
Aura, alright, perfect. I never forget names, and you seem to be quite capable, so I'll entrust this to you, Aura, to make sure it gets to the right people. This is a signed letter of testimony from all of those involved in this situation, with very, well, detailed descriptions. It is sealed, so I would prefer it not be opened here, but if you could see that it gets to the people it needs to get to, then.
Alright then. We can make this happen. For the time being, if you're wishing to have immediate word in return, I cannot guarantee it'll be very soon. It takes about 3 days to get to Ingard, and then returning. Information may take some time. If you wish to stay and wait that time, there are many inns within Rasan you can visit. There's the Velvet Dream. Many people go there.
Ara, you seem quite capable. You've been doing this for some time?
I've been doing this for 7 years, ma'am.
Well done. The Blackburns, particularly Lady Blackburn, if she ever comes to... Does she ever come to Rasan, do you know?
On occasions, yes, usually to visit Mr. Castor in his estate up on the wall. But usually she only comes through passing when she is visiting someone outside of town. Many of the nobility, especially those on the Bureau of Trade, they spend their time in Ingard and seldom leave.
I'm just wondering if you happen to have a little insider knowledge, if there's any particular place, maybe perhaps on this side of town, that she may like to stop into for a drink or something of that nature.
Can't say for certain, and if I did, I am not allowed to disclose such things. That would, well, it would possibly compromise her safety if someone was looking to do harm. Not insisting you would do such a thing.
Of course. No. I was simply trying to just wait for her somewhere convenient for her, somewhere she already liked to go. But if that is not, well, how you do things, then I can certainly understand. We'll wait somewhere around here, probably. I appreciate your time, Aura.
Certainly. Though, if I would say, unless you are close friends with Lady Blackburn, I would not wait for her. She is more accustomed to sending word or a messenger, someone on my behalf, of course, to send her information. If you're waiting for coins, she may have someone deliver it elsewhere.
I see. Well then, you can find me. Where is somewhere nice on this side of town?
Well, there are many inns. There's the Bright Eagle, there's the Velvet Dream, there is quite a many to name.
The Bright Eagle, then. That sounds fine enough. Appreciate your time. As, I'll just bid her farewell and turn back to the group. Well, I think that is taken care of, more or less. We may not receive word for 3 or 4 days.
Oh,
Should we?
well, we should go shopping then.
Yeah, I want to wait and be sure that, well, maybe this bounty can get canceled. I don't want anything bad to happen. You know, if we just leave this be and hope for the best, and then the best doesn't happen.
I'm just gonna go over to Samantha, Jesus. Go over to Persephone and put a hand on her shoulder. I understand your worry and your concern, and, well, I am worried and concerned as well. For a different matter, but I understand. I told the wonderful knight over there that we'd be staying at the Bright... What did I say?
Bright Eagle, I think.
Bright Eagle,
Yes.
yes.
Oh,
So wait, where is Ingard?
That way. That is
Behind the wall?
point to the gate?
Yep, you would definitely know, Luna, that there's 3 main districts to Broken Ridge that are all nestled within this mountain range known as the Teeth. Far to the north, there is the Risan, the Central, which is basically how people enter into Broken Ridge. To the west, there is the Noble District. Quite some time. Basically, there's a pathway that takes you right between one and the other. And then to the west, to the east rather, there is the Han district, which is known for innovation and basically anything that is being crafted or changed or renovated in terms of technology seems to happen in Han.
How long would it take to get there?
Looks like it'd probably take about 3 days. They seem to have these specialized walkways that sort of expedite the travel between them, but it's still 3 days on foot to get there.
Ew.
Yeah.
So we have like a carrot
Walking a mountain
service
range.
that's faster.
So this whole mountain range is just Broken Ridge?
Basically, yes.
Yep.
Fuck!
Yeah, this place sort of boggles the mind. I mean, I could take a day or two doing a bit of gift shopping and, I don't know, touring the churches, but,
Wait, do
we
they have a
got the
church to
time.
Simonis here?
I suppose so. I haven't really spent much time, and it's been years since I was here last. Do we want to check out that, Sir St. Cloud feller? He was supposed to be here.
No, he is also
Is he not also
in
in
guard.
Ingard?
Yes, he's a true noble knight. He's also an Ingard.
Hell.
Didn't the captain come with us? Isn't he still here with us?
No, he didn't come.
No, you left them behind.
Oh,
You
shit.
said go refer to Oakwell. Buddha.
Yeah, he told him to send any inquiries that he would get on our behalf to Oakwell, to the Fallen Horse. We
Oh, I thought he was still gonna come.
but-
He's like, nah. So he stayed behind. But yeah, it seems like, according to what Samantha says, it's gonna take some time before word even gets back from Ingard to Rasan. And so it seems like if you guys are willing to stay in Broken Ridge, that's fine, but you'll be there for probably a few days at the very least, unless you don't really care. Otherwise, you have some time to basically relax, find a nice soft bed, maybe do some shopping in this very wealthy city.
We should go
Come on,
shopping.
losers, we're going shopping.
I mean, it sounded like they said it was going to take 3 days to get there. Does that mean we're going to be here a week even if they hustle? We're going to be here a bit.
Maybe we should write a letter to Jody to let her know that we're here and we're waiting for a response.
The problem
that's a
is,
good idea.
Persephone, Broken Ridge is quite far north. I have traveled that distance. It is long.
Well, true, but I mean, it'll still get there at least a week before we did.
Yeah.
We're waiting here a week.
And that way, if anything comes up, Jody would know where we were.
Better she knows a week from now than 2 weeks from now.
That is true. Oh, if only there was some way to communicate over vast distances much more effectively.
I mean,
Yeah,
people
I
would
get-
have carrier pigeons and
Heard,
things.
but I don't know if it would be the same as a letter. The message would be short.
As you guys find yourself with some time on your hands, what do you want to do?
We need to, well, move all of that stuff you so kindly palmed for us, Glide.
Okay, so maybe we get a room in an inn
Right?
and then divvy it up away from Curious Eyes.
Well, I mean, we've got to go see the stones. I mean, Samantha, they're big.
Shh, don't say that so loudly.
I
You should
mean,
probably not divvy things up in the middle of the street. It'd be a little weird.
Yeah, exactly.
I know
We find an inn
store.
that we're gonna stay at. We get the rooms. And we do it there, behind closed doors.
I think
But
it would be
we should see the stones.
Yeah, it would be absolutely easiest to get an inn like you said and take a look at everything. I don't think there's anything in that collection that we would be, well, wanting to keep on our person in its current form, to put it simply. It's all not, it's all a bit too big. So it'd probably be easier to just take it all and turn it into gold and divvy that up.
It's got my vote.
We could do that. We could probably also find a jeweler who's willing to cut it so we have smaller pieces. That would be easier to manage and use.
Yeah, not if it
Does
cuts
it
down on the
need
value.
stones?
If only we had a cleric.
Well, no. I guess, okay, I'm gonna have to find something to get myself busy for a week then.
Well, I'll go look at some of the churches with you, Gregory.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Appreciate the company.
Yeah, let us head to the wall, though, to get this sorted out first.
I mean, who do you want to go with you? I mean, Broken Ridge, what I know, is a pretty safe place. I could go along if you don't feel comfortable walking around with so much money.
I don't want to have to try to track you all down to give you your cut either, so let us go and get this taken care of, and then we can split up if we need to.
Oh, that makes sense, because then, you know, then we can all go to our
And then we'll
ways
have
and
plenty
do
of
shopping.
Oh, alright, yeah. So get a room and then we all heading off to the wall to sell this stuff?
Yeah.
Aye.
Alright. Now where the hell is this Bright Eagle place? See a sign or something
Oh,
somewhere?
excuse me. Yes, hello? Oh, Bright
Oh,
Eagle.
hello.
Where's the inn? The Bright Eagle inn?
Looking for the bright eagle.
Aye.
There should be a sign with a bright white eagle upon its face. That if you can't find the sign, you can always look at the top of the building. There is a statuette of an eagle. That's to stand out among
Strangely
all the
enough,
other
that's not the Bright Eagle. A weird conflict between owners of the buildings.
Do I see
Don't
a
listen to
building
him.
with the big
That's
old
Benny the
eagle?
liar. He always lies to the tourists. Oh,
That's
Benny.
actually the Grey Vulture. Not to be confused with the Bright Eagle.
Oh yes, of course.
And over there is the Pearl Turkey.
Aren't we staying at the Pearl Turkey?
We're not. We're staying at the Bright Eagle.
I know, why not?
Because the Pearl Turkey is a whorehouse.
As you end up finding
Gobble
this,
gobble.
looks like
See?
a very large
Fucking
inn.
John.
Like, surprisingly, like you're used to seeing some of the inns around in Oakwell. The Big Trout was always sort of the biggest one. This place is much larger, and as you enter, God, it's much nicer. There's actually like you almost think like you're walking on like this soft felt ground. It's actually feels like wooden floors, not even creaking beneath your feet, with like long rolled with this rug made of looks like some sort of fur. But as you walk, oh my gosh, it's not fur. It looks like feathers. And to those of you who don't walk with shoes on, Mr. Clyde and Mitty,
Oh.
this thing. As if you guys end up finding, it looks like a young human with almost platinum blonde hair, very young in appearance, very charming, bright blue eyes, and a cutting smile. Basically offers you guys some rooms if you're looking for it. They have plenty to spare. Although this is something of a relatively higher class inn, it basically can charge you no less than 2 gold a night, basically offering you essentially a relatively wealthy stay. Food and board, all the drinks you can muster, unless you're ordering off the special menu, in which case they will have to charge you a bit more.
Special menu?
So
All in
it's
Broken Ridge, after all.
I'll just
the day.
pay the 2. That's gonna be
Wait,
a
are we
lot of
staying-
money for a week, but
Oh,
hey, we about to get paid, right?
Should we do like 5 days? Or are we doing a full week?
How much did I say was per week?
2
2
gold
gold a
a
day.
night.
Person.
Mm-hmm.
Oh shite, I don't even know how much gold I have. Let's see.
I mean,
As you pull out your purse.
Oh, I'm good.
the messenger goes as fast as they can. It's gonna be at least 6 days, so
Alright.
So we stay a week to see if we get word back, and then we'll decide if we stay or go from there.
alright. So
Right.
12 gold apiece.
Wait, oh, we're just staying 6 days, alright.
Is your 2 gold arrangement, is that the nicest room you have available for a decent amount of time?
That's the standard. We do have a suite, but it's currently being taken up right now.
Is their stay expected to expire soon?
In about 4 days or so. Why? Do you want to take up after they leave? I can arrange that for you.
I would.
Certainly. Well, every night will be 4 gold pieces.
This is fine.
Well, all right then. I'll ensure the help will prepare the room as soon as they leave, so there's not a spot of another person left in that room.
There better not be.
Wait, why did he say it that way? That sounds weird.
Seems like you guys have your rooms for looks like the almost week you're gonna be here. Seems like a good place to get settled. You guys gonna go through your stuff and see everything you've gathered?
Yeah, if we want to take a look at it before we head out.
Whose room should we do it in? But do you have a private, like a dining room or something?
All of our dining rooms are public, although, I mean, we don't encourage you to eat in your room, but you are paying the price for it, so we won't stop you.
Oh, we should probably do it in a room.
Yeah, it's fine. Don't come in my room. Don't make no difference.
Alright. I'll go to Gregory's room.
Okay.
How nice are these rooms?
They're at
laying
least
in a heart-shaped jacuzzi.
like they are twice as big, if not more so, than the rooms you have in Oakwell, which is still, I mean, in Von Horst, which is still somewhat small. It seems like it's not a whole lot of space, sort of like a small studio. But they're nicely decorated, they're nicely furnished. Like you see a bed that doesn't have a lump in it. There's nothing to dust off or clean. It's like this is what it's like to actually stay in a nice inn. It seems like even within, you're expecting like some sort of torchlight. The room you have in Gregory has no windows in it out leading to the outside world. But you do see, strangely enough, fixed to one of the cabinets is this small glass sphere that just seems to slit up the soft white light from within, lighting up the room.
Yeah. Is that a lantern or is that magic? Damn.
Still too bougie for my taste.
Alright, Clyde, is everybody here?
Roll call.
Luna?
Quiet.
Oh, she's here.
Alright, let's look what we got. Look down at purse. She's just fuming.
Like furious?
Is she slowly sharpening her knife, just glaring at all of us?
You motherfuckers.
All this belongs in a museum.
You divvy up your blood money.
I don't think she really knows how to quite feel about it. I mean, as far as Persephone knows, giants are gone, right? They're just dead. They're no more. They ceased.
Yep, there are stories that there are some giants still wandering around the mountains, sometimes lost in great hills, but for the most part, giants are gone. They were harshly, not hunted and killed, but they lost a great battle in the era of the ancients. There's not a whole lot of giants.
Right, do you think there's anyone that could... Hold on.
What would the elves have
Read
thought
this
of
book?
giants? Like, would Persephone have been raised to believe giants deserved to have been dead and they were terrible?
So the thing is that there isn't a lot of whole interaction between the elves and the giants. So in the War of the Ancients, there's sort of two factions in this great war. Before the elves and the dwarves teamed up, the elves were warred by dragons, these long-lived creatures who sort of... They had everything that the elves had, but more. They had natural weapons, claws, teeth, and breath of destruction. They could live longer than elves. The one thing they didn't have that elves had was their innate magic. And so they sort of hunted down elves to try and siphon their power. The enemy of the giants was always the dwarves, these small, stout folk who could somehow stand toe-to-toe in great numbers against their massive heights and great physical strength. There were some stories about giants and elves conflicting, but most of it was quickly resolved. A lot of dumb giants wandering into their woods and never being seen again as they seemed to step off into different worlds. But yeah. And as you see Clyde pick up this massive book, almost the size of his torso, and then drop it down on the table. It's a book fit for a giant. It doesn't seem like it's big enough or small enough for anyone to properly carry. And if you want to read it, you'd basically be scouring over these massive pages. But you find what looks to be a beautiful looking tome. Large in size and marked with this strange small stone with a spiral upon it. And as you're sort of looking at this book and seeing this light pour from its surface, you can almost hear this soft, almost like in the back of your mind, like a soft chanting.
Hold
In
on,
this deep tone.
Persephone needs to just pick her chin up.
Hmm.
It's just a book. It's weird language, though I don't understand it.
Look,
take a
sounds
peek
like
at
something
it.
more than just a book.
But
I
assume
sort of
it's giant.
recognize it. But only because of the Goliath.
Wait, Javen, do you know how to read giant?
No,
Oh.
I'm just saying I recognize it. Because Goliaths are descendants of giants.
Yeah,
Same way we're descendants of dragons.
It does seem like
as you're looking over this book. Some of you who can read the Dwarven script can sort of pick up on the general pronunciation of some of the words, but the words don't make any sense. But it's pretty obviously, if not given by the size of the text, to be written in Giant. Giant's always a strange language. The most important words, the most important parts of sentences are written larger than the rest of them, so it's this sort of changing size, like rows of text. But after looking over as a group, it actually becomes somewhat obvious. The more you read this, the chanting becomes somewhat louder in your mind as this magic begins to touch you, and you realize the words become somewhat more legible, but only for a moment, as you guys finally look over and discern the Tome of the Jotun. It's this massive book, weighs about 12 pounds in total. Seems like if you spend some time reading this, allowing the magic to affect you for quite some time, you can possibly learn this language.
Oh my god.
We let you talk and like read. I didn't realize Giant really had a language.
Huh.
Well,
No, they did. I mean, how else?
Yeah, I mean, it makes
Tim-
sense now. I don't know. I never really thought about it.
Huh.
yeah, a lot of languages that we hear today are usually from older ancient language, like how Elvish is very similar to Sylvan. This is very similar to Dwarvish. I might spend some time with this. If nobody else wants it.
Well, that's fine. I don't need to speak none of that gibbly glop.
Well, now that you want it, I want it.
What?
Luna.
I am always inclined to add more languages to my repertoire. And this is
Well, I ain't
one
exactly
don't know.
expecting to be talking to any Giant, so I'm out.
I don't need to read.
So start taking out the rest of the stuff that we got from that chest. From my bag hold.
You take your bag of holding and you start reaching and trying to pull things out. Didn't really see everything you got because Clyde was one who gathered it, so it's kind of hard to just grab some stuff by name. So it takes some time.
I go to the bed and I just turn it upside down.
Okay, all right.
Oh,
As you go over to the
God!
bed,
Here come the arrows!
and you turn the bag over, and first thing that falls out is this rather large-looking parchment folded up into this large square. It looks like it's about the size of a page of a book, but if you were to unfold it, it
That's
would
a
be
map.
much larger. But before your hands can reach it, things just start pouring out and piling. You see,
Wait.
it looks like this large. It looks like this large, massive statue, about 3 feet tall, slides out of the bag and lands on the bed. Pretty heavy.
Luna, there's a vial in there. It's
You
gonna
see these
break.
beautifully colored stones, about the size of your fists, clanking on
As
the
I hear about the vial, I stop turning it.
just in time for it looks like this rather. I mean, it fit in the palm of your hand, maybe about like 2.5 inches tall and about 3 inches in circumference or in diameter. A rather large diamond falls out, as it seems like you got this map that's now piled under a large 3-foot statue that looks like it's a giant figurine, and about let's see, about 14 different colored stones about the size of your fist. They look like opals, rubies, and sapphires. And the last one that lands on the top before you basically untip it is this large diamond.
Oh my god.
Alright.
Oh wait, there should be some. There's gold in there too, and there's the platinum. There's some platinum pieces.
Why don't you just pull everything out? Clyde?
Alright, so just reach in like 2 big old scoops. I'm like, alright, there's 500, there's 1,000.
Yeah, you see Clyde pull out some gold and lay it on the bed. Pull out some gold and lay it on the bed. And pull out some more gold and lay it on the bed until he seems like he's counting out loud. Seems like get about 2,000 gold in total. And then afterwards, platinum, until eventually it comes about 180 platinum. As now you have this pile of gold with some platinum trim on the top.
Don't forget the vial.
Wait.
Greg's just jizzing his pants.
There it goes. It's got like weird hairs in it or something.
Yeah, it's just like you pull out this vial, this round bottom flask. It's somewhat larger than you'd expect to fit in your hand, but still holdable rather. It's filled with this like translucent amber vial, but inside, like floating within, you see like these 3 bright red hairs, very long, almost as long as your hair's not particularly long, Persephone, but probably rival it in length, sort of floating within the mixture.
Here, you want to test this one too, Persephone, without checking my reaction?
Don't drink it, Persephone.
No, I'm just going to give it like a little taste and see what it feels like and see if I learned anything from my last venture.
It seems you haven't.
That's a
Obviously.
lot of damn money.
I hate to do this to
Alright.
you, Clyde, but we're going to need to put all of the money back in there.
What? Why are we putting money back in? What?
It's a lot of gold, and I'm sure a place like the Wall is going to have plenty of platinum. Combined with the gemstones that we need to take there to get appraised, we can get that accounted for, divvied up, and converted all in one place.
Oh,
It
like
seems-
a coin exchange.
Something similar, yes. I think only the tome, maybe the statue? What is that made out of? And
I think it's. Hold on. And I lick it. Oh, that's pewter.
Oh, alright then, as I just put a platinum coin back on the pile.
No. Do we want to divvy up the general loot from like the Ioun tomb from like forever ago that I don't think we ever divvied up, but it's in the party loot handout?
Wait, he got more stones. Why don't we just sell all the stones at once?
No, Clyde had those. Unless I remember Clyde was the one going through the chest when it was found.
I'm pretty sure I sold all that stuff and divvied it up, didn't I?
I don't think anyone's been editing the party loot. Just
Somebody
ignored
did.
Thought we did.
Yeah, 'cause
Welcome.
you have, yeah, you do.
Thank
'cause,
you,
Thanks,
Omen.
Omen. I wrote
What-
that stuff down.
What did
I just-
Omen say?
He did. He said you're welcome. Thank you, Omen. I very much appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Oh, okay, so where is all of that stuff then?
It's in the party loot
Top
bag.
of,
for you
yeah, in the
guys.
little journal thing, it says party loot. You click it.
It says general.
Yeah, I'm saying where is?
Picture.
Did we just
You
have that?
guys.
Oh, so I
I
guess
don't know,
everyone's
yeah,
turning
hey,
out
we
your
got this
pockets.
box.
Yeah,
I know you
Persephone.
have the moonstone.
Yeah, I have the moonstone. I think Clyde still has a star metal ore, and
I
there's a
don't.
bunch of gems. And I know that Ioun symbol and the relics were from when we dealt with the
Who has
goblins.
the star medal?
I thought Clyde.
He doesn't.
Oh,
I think Greg found it. I don't know if he did
Yeah, I
anything
think
with it.
Greg. I
Gregory
thought Greg
then?
had it. I thought he was sharing it with.
Y'all looked at it because I didn't know what the hell it was. Persephone, I think Luna
It
took
might
a
be
look
under
at
magic
it. took it from-
items.
Yeah, it's under
Magic
magic
material.
materials.
yeah, it's under magic
Yeah.
materials. It's not like anyone. Nobody claimed it.
I didn't take it because I didn't know what the fuck it was.
I have it down, guys.
I know Luna probably had it.
You didn't speak up. We weren't sure.
I don't think I was there when you guys got that stuff.
Yeah, it might have
True.
been
Nope.
That's
like.
fair.
That's why I'm saying I have it. Just I have it now. Okay.
It was in the bag. You put it in the bag of holding.
I've
Oh,
got
yeah.
all these other gems. Maybe we could sell those too.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Just like
Let's
empty
do
out an
that.
entire bag of fucking marbles because there's like fucking 40 of them or something.
These,
Okay.
some of them are like octagonal in shape. All sorts of different shapes of rubies and sapphires just sort of spill out. Javen, what's your reaction to seeing just this massive mound of gold and jewels and treasures piling up on this
That's-
poor bed?
That's racist. He's just a dragonborn. Gosh.
Yeah, I know, he is. Damn. I've only seen that much wealth in my lifetime. And I was real young. Where'd you all get this?
Well, I mean, most of it we got it in the giant temple. There was a chest behind the wall that I saw when I was up there, and I didn't want to tell Persephone at the time because I'm sure she would have given it to all the little centaurs. I thought
So
maybe
you lied to her.
I didn't know. I just didn't tell her.
Isn't
That's
that
why
why
later.
option?
Well, I told
Not,
you,
not
Luna.
telling isn't really the same as lying, per se.
would
Just
say
Right,
that.
as long as you
That-
tell them, as long as you tell them in the end, it's not lying.
Yeah, I don't think that's how that works.
But I only didn't tell her for like a day.
a couple days.
It's been like 4 days.
Well, no, I told
Anywho.
her after the chief
But
left.
yeah.
As long as you're hiding the truth, it's lying.
Oh.
I don't know. We should go find someone to buy all this crap. God damn it! I don't feel like carrying all this. Even though it's not heavy, I just don't feel like carrying it.
Well, I
Wait a
feel
minute.
like spending it on something nice.
Quick, Persephone.
What?
Pretend like you want it so Luna can carry it. Because then she'll want to have it.
God damn it.
If it is
Well, I was
thinking Persephone, I do want the book. I have read a fair amount in my ceaseless awakening during the night, and this would be some new material.
But why don't you, flip a coin for it or something? A game of chance?
I don't like leaving things to chance.
I don't know.
Why don't you guys just read it at the same time?
You think it would work like that?
Probably not, but
Yeah, we'll both half know giant at the best.
I mean, I know dwarvish. I guess it's kind of half giant.
I mean, that's like knowing the alphabet, but not knowing how to put the words together.
Yeah.
Or the letters together to make words. I mean, I don't care for it. Everyone speaks common in Mobia.
Okay, Samantha, I'll let you have the book to read, but promise me that in any spare time that you have, you can start teaching me giant too.
No.
Those are my terms.
Well, I mean, otherwise Persephone could read it and then teach you giant, Samantha.
And you know I take really detailed notes.
And talks really fast.
So I would be your teacher.
Yes!
Positions of power are positions of power. Fun!
Are we gonna
I
have
don't
to?
want it anymore.
Are we gonna have to get you a steak?
Oh no, I already have one as I just tap my
Okay.
scepter.
Wait, what?
Well, when you don't learn fast enough,
No, I
they
know.
beat you
I
with
know.
it.
No, I know.
Yep.
So I'll just reach over and take the tome. Ugh. Oh god, I need to get a bigger book bag while I'm here.
And just
Yeah, I will not
unhinges
bring your
her
book
jaw and swallows it whole.
Luna, would you carry this for me for the time being?
And all the guards start saying she looks a little boxy.
Yeah, you look at the opening of the bag and you look at the book and you run into the same problem that Clyde had. This is not gonna fit. That's why Clyde was carrying it on his back.
The entire time.
He just had a giant book out of nowhere and we didn't notice.
Well, nobody said anything.
Oh my goodness. Alright, so I'll just untie
It's
my...
Bible.
It's fine, I'll untie my, my battering ram and use that rope and reaffix it with the battering ram and the tome to my bag.
I'm surprised you still carry that around. We don't
Fucking
use it for
turtle.
anything.
It will have its use one day.
I could probably turn into a literal ram.
And break your neck.
Okay.
No, maybe. Let's go to the store.
What
So,
was the
was
piece
there
of
any
paper
other-
at the bottom?
Was
Well,
there
that
any
was
other
a
weird
map.
things in there?
That's a map.
A map of what? Did I just take the paper and start opening it?
I don't know. It
There's
was
I
right
look over-
in that
I look
in
over,
that
like-
script. But
It-
there was
it
a
has
dragon on it. Yeah, there's it right there.
Can you pick up the statue so she could get the map?
Yeah, I'll just stick it over here. Yeah, we go.
Oh, careful! That's probably worth like at least 400 gold pieces.
As you're
What's
looking
that?
over this map,
Yeah.
it seems... I mean, you're basically unfolding it and unfolding it until, again, similar to the size of the book, you have a big map.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
As it looks like it's maybe something of a very rudimentary form of a mountainside that sort of courses up one side. Looks like it's going from... If it's cardinal directions, it looks like it goes from the west side to up to north in this sort of angle. And it looks like it's written all over in this... more of this giant script that you just can't quite decipher. But you do see marked upon this
mountain, you see this coiled shape of what looks to be a dragon. And around what it's coiling seems to be its claws sort of wrapped around. It looks like a coin or something.
Kind of looking at the thing itself, does that part of the symbol have any markings on it or anything?
No, just looks like a coin.
I just kind of hurriedly fold that back up. I'll investigate that more once I understand giant. I just kind of move. Oh god, this is heavy. Just kind of flip the book and battering ram over the top of the bag to find space to put this giant map in. Alright, that and the statue. Alright, we have to find some
Want me
place
to
to
at least
sell.
haul around that battering ram for you?
You're really just carrying that.
She bought the battery ram herself. She's
Yeah.
sure that we're gonna need it one day. I think we should let her carry it.
Well, it's her thing too, though. Like, she's got to
An
carry her.
that's
oddly
fine.
mischievous
It's her
thing for you
property.
to say, Persephone. You're not as sweet as you seem.
I mean, I was carrying that thing around. It was like 35 damn pounds. Are you serious hauling that thing around all the time?
Wait, are you saying that she's not strong enough, Gregory?
I mean, on top of all the other stuff, it was time for me to carry the damn thing around.
If Samantha wants to carry it, she can carry it.
I'll haul it.
Alright. Calm down. It's not
I'm
that
not going to like
serious.
your homework.
Huh?
Please. Come on now.
Can we just go and sail the shite?
Yeah.
Was there anything else weird in there?
Well, just this vial. I don't.
I test the vial.
Oh wait, no, wait. Oh, hold on.
How do you test it?
Hold on. Oh, there it is. I got. It's a scroll. I don't know what it does. I think it's a spell scroll or something.
Oh, there is. Alright, yeah, I'll look at that while
it smells. It smells funny.
you test the potion. I'll take the scroll and just shift to the other side of the room away from Persephone in case she like explodes or something. So I just try to unfurl the spell scroll and see what I can decipher of it.
Sure. It's pretty intricate looking magic, but there are some elements of it that you would be able to understand with your own connection to magic. It's a really powerful spell. Probably of a higher level maybe than you can even attain, at least currently. It looks like it's a spell designed to see through something of great value. And through peering through something through greater lenses, you can see beyond the land you now stand in. You can see what follows others. This is a spell scroll of scrying.
Yes. This would be invaluable, actually. Let's kind of roll that back up and look over to Persephone to see if she's a frog or dead or giant.
Oh yeah. How are you testing the potion, Persephone?
Well, I'm trying to be very thorough this time, so journals laid out on the floor, and I'm taking notes. She's going to shake it, she's going to sniff it, and then she's going to give it like a tiny little taste and just try to see if she can not guess wrong this time.
Okay, man. You sort of give it a shake. You watch the hair sort of dance inside, and they sort of become not entangled, but sort of coil up with one another within the vial. You give it a sniff, and smells like BO and something else like almost metallic. Nah, it's not a good smell. And then very carefully, like a little tip of the tongue. Oh, yep, that tastes. Oh god, that tastes really bad. That's really the only thing you can feel. It's not what you feel, Persephone, that becomes noticeable for just a moment. It's what everyone else can see. As you see her lifting up and sort of taking just a little tiny drink of this potion, you can see her sleeve roll down her arm, exposing her thin, little noodly elven girl arms. And the moment her tongue touches this and she recoils, you can see her sort of tense up, and all of a sudden, her arm becomes this massive and muscly form. You can see this like incredibly defined musculature along her arm for just a moment, and then it fades.
Oh,
God, okay, I don't
wait,
know if it actually does
did you get
anything. It
really
just smells
strong?
bad and it tastes bad.
But your arm got like fucking big and all veiny.
Well, no. See, my arm has vines coming out of it when I do magic now.
No, that didn't seem to be the same.
No, it's not veiny, it's viney.
Yeah, let me see that, Persephone. It does seem to change your musculature or something.
But I've heard, aren't there like potions that make you strong like a giant?
There are stories that those who fought giants could take a piece of them, grind it up, and in the right circumstances would have this potion that, if possibly consumed, they could take some of their strength. Although most stories recount some weird, twisted, and oftentimes dire consequences of such things.
Whoa!
Giants are not meant to be consumed.
Oh, dire consequences!
Throw it out.
You
throw
did
it
that on
ground.
purpose. You did that on
Yeet!
fucking purpose. Oh god damn it! All right, well it was fun. But,
And it's over. And it's over.
yeah. Well, I guess perhaps the strongest man should hold on to this if all it does to make you stronger.
All
Kind of
right.
offer the vial to Gregory.
I mean, if it does to my arm what it did to hers, my arms might pop.
We should maybe have Lacasta look at it when we get back to town. She could probably...
We could probably find somebody here in Broken Ridge to look at it too.
Yeah, but
Might charge a fee.
And I trust Lacasta more than some shopkeeper here.
Yeah.
Yeah, the wall does have a reputation, a positive one, but I understand where you're coming from, Clyde. Yeah, just hold on to it for now, Gregory. I'm sure.
Fell back in the bag.
Alright.
And if Lacasta can't figure it out, I could probably take it to Dr. Faust.
How am I gonna put this thing?
Maybe
Oh,
Luna
is it a
should hold on.
huge vial?
She has big.
It's pretty big. Like, Gregory in his hand could probably palm the bottom of this round flask, but to everyone else, it's pretty damn big. Looks like it's sort of meant for smaller folk, but still.
A small
Not easily
giant?
stored. Yeah, like a jug mostly. Like what a giant would imagine a small folk would be carrying. But yeah, you can put this in a
Something you can
backpack.
hang potions from or something, like a sort of belt.
I mean, I'll tuck into my bedroll in my backpack. It's fine. Oh, Clyde, you want your potion back? I never ended up using it.
Oh, wait, which potion?
You mean my potion?
Oh, it was Javen. Yeah,
Yeah.
Javen, you want that
Nah,
potion
just
back?
keep it. Never know when you might need it.
Alright. I mean, I already got one, but
Nah, you good. Bought them for us anyway.
I'll hold on to this weird arm explosion.
Okay, so it seems like you have most of the gear accounted for. Some of you now identifying what you have. What do you guys want to do?
Gonna go see it.
Shopping?
Yep, let's go sell it all.
That
Okay.
it? Alright.
Alright, you guys taking your gear down to the wall. Again, you've been here before, Samantha, Javen, you're pretty familiar with this area too. You see these giant, like, white stone walls that each seem like to be segmented in their own individual store, far taller than they are wide, each marked with like a symbol of something recognizable. It looks like a smith on one end, a pair of crossed swords, and a shield behind it. You see, eventually along the way, you do find something of a jeweler. And if you want to go there, looks like the doors are wide open. You guys are here midday, so market's pretty bustling. Strangely enough, Samantha, last time you were here, you saw all these little stands and looks like people standing out in the middle of this great courtyard of a marketplace. Sort of like the entrepreneurs trying to get their foot in the door of this area. But now it's almost completely sparse. You see a couple stands, but nobody's attending them. It's like there's nobody really there.
That is
But-
really strange.
Yeah, but eventually you do find a jeweler. It seems to be all run, like a lot of these stores, by halflings. These tiny, all similarly dressed workers, very nice suits. This place, you see, like, you walk inside and almost everything, wall to wall, are glass cases with these intricately cut jewels and gems. You see some of them, like rainbow quartzes carved in these intricate spirals that the longer you look at them, it almost seems like the color is moving within them. You see beautiful rings and necklaces and amulets and bracelets. Just probably like the one place that if you were trying to woo someone with a bit of glimmering gems, God, this would be the place to do so. And yeah, you guys just trying to sell everything?
Persephone is going to want to keep the silver relics and the Ioun symbol.
Oh, they're not goblins because their butts are too fat. Got it.
Yeah.
Progress, Clyde, progress.
I would, for the sake of expediency, I would try to get the attention of someone who looks to be in charge. If I can't do that because it's so busy, I would try to find someone's attention and then ask Luna for just one of the large sapphires and present that to them, trying to get, someone in charge with the fact that, yeah, we're probably relatively important with what it is we have to do here, and then try to work with that person to offload everything.
Sure. Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell. You've been in one of these stores before. Sometimes they seem like they have a head walking among them, usually a rather happy, well-expressive, wearing this intricate-looking tie of bright colors, like a halfling. But now, it seems like in this store, not so many. You just see tons of the similarly dressed folk who, eventually, after looking around, one of them turns to face you and addresses you nicely. Man him a sapphire, one of the large ones you got from the giant temple.
Correctamundo.
They look it over, and it's worth quite a bit. Surprised they just hand them this.
I was just trying to hold on to it. I was presenting it,
showing it to him.
Yeah, there's a lot more where this came from. If we could have, some privacy, that would be excellent.
Absolutely. They basically, after whistling, you see these halflings all line up together, and after some of them continue to attend to some of the few people here. It seems like of all the stores you'd find in Broken Ridge, a jewelry store is probably at the top of the top most expensive. Not really high traffic. But there is an upstairs, looks like almost storage of this place. A couple of halflings, as well as the one who is currently attending you, would take you up to a second floor. Looks like not quite a storage room, but a more private back area. Maybe a break room for these hard-working halflings. And one by one, they lead you and whoever would want to follow you up here to try and gauge what business you have with them after seeing this massive gem.
I'll come. I might kind of have to come. I have all the jewels.
Yeah.
Yes, you do.
And the statue.
Oh, I'll definitely go.
Yep, purse is going.
Sure. All right.
I guess I'm going.
We're gonna need your help to move the heavier bit at least, and then you could look for something pretty if you want. She's gonna give you a slide.
Yeah, Greg, you kind of have to maybe on instinct sort of tuck your arms together, try to make your shoulders less wide. You are a large man in a store made by halflings, surrounded by very delicate, very fragile, very expensive items. Bowl and china shop.
Just don't break anything, Gregory.
I'm trying not to. Why is this place so damn small?
Because they're almost goblins, but they're not.
Yeah, alright. I'm coming.
After exchanging some more pleasantries, I'll just kind of turn to Luda and just try to see if we have enough space to start pulling things out and orienting it for ease of assessment on a table or something of that nature.
Sure. So Persephone, we're holding on to
Silver relics and iron symbol.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay, so everything from the bag at the very least. You start pulling some things out, just the gems, I'm assuming, and this large stone statue. Let's see.
Yes, and I make mention of the fact that we have a good amount of gold that we'd also converted to platinum.
We're not selling the moonstone and star metal, right?
Fuck no. All the rubies, sapphires, diamonds, pearls, and onyx from the general collection, and then everything 2000 GP and down from the bag of holding. We would like to collect, sell, and convert to platinum value.
Convert to platinum?
Yeah, we can split that easier, I think, right?
Yay, math!
Okay. Throwing your gold in there, as well as trying to split up all in so everyone gets this equal share of platinum together.
Yeah,
out of all the total spoils.
We'll pour everything together and get a huge mound of platinum, and then split that. And then leaning on what Clyde said, I would, try to lay on the charms and barter for trying to bump the value of our total haul.
How are you doing that?
Persephone is gonna look at the gems, and being from Inolin and being around gems and that city, she's going to offer little of her knowledge, pointing out anything that might make the gemstones rare.
Or Persephone talk about the inlaid carats within the sapphire, and then with the orbals with the shade of purple in them. That's a rare breed from the northern mountains.
And the fact that we were able to find opals this large and in this kind of cut and in this quantity is also a rarity in and of itself. Because you should know that opal is an extremely sensitive gemstone. One of the softest gemstones, actually.
I mean, I like the blue one.
Or tell them about how it's for the most powerful and yet delicate lady that usually gets a good,
Okay.
What?
They can, Persephone can provide that contribution, and I would lean into what it is that we did to acquire these things, and just try to spin a sort of heroic tale of where we found this and what the situation was, and its elevated value as being connected to us, perhaps. And the fact that we are trying.
The Valiant Seven?
The Valiant Seven, and the actually, it has a direct connection to the Blackburn Initiative's efforts to build the Trailway. These are actually spoils from that project.
One could say blood diamonds. Maybe even conflict diamonds. I hear those are very valuable.
Yeah, roll me a persuasion check with advantage, but considerably high DC. As you're watching these people as you're explaining, they seem quite interested when you mention the Blackburn Initiative, and that these were basically, according to what I can assume, the recent conflict that's been going on. But Persephone, you're able to help give them insight, but you also have to keep in mind these are the jewelers of Broken Ridge.
They know what they're doing. Well, expertise, don't fail me now. Neat.
They seem mostly interested in the fact that you offer this, apparently while working for Lady Blackburn. It's more so you that spurns their interest about that than the gems you're giving them. Doesn't really seem to matter to them too much that you got these working for a noble. Anyone can find a good jewel. But honestly, the worth of these things is present in themselves. The cuts on them, you can hear them remarking to themselves, looking them over one by one, are pretty simple, pretty archaic. Looks like they were done with large hands, which of course, large hands can't make such refined cuts as small hands.
These are cut by giants.
Yep. Large hands versus small hands. But what they do take very much interest in is the fact that these things are huge. And in the right hands, small hands, they can make quite a few valuable things out of them. So, it seems like they're somewhat swayed, not a whole lot. But you are offering them something of great value. They would offer in total, just not even including the 2,000 gold you wish to transmit into platinum, just this alone would probably fetch you guys an even 7,500 gold. You liquidated all of them. And the platinum, obviously, you cut that down, it'd be 750 platinum in total.
I take the guy that we're negotiating with and I just beat the shit out of him how much as we get now.
So it's 75
persuasion.
platinum.
Not even intimidating.
It's 7,500. just attack rolls. That's the only rolls I'm making. Is 7,500 the market price?
Kind of hard to say on on these things. You can basically guesstimate how much these things would go for, but again, usually you're dealing in very fine cuts.
I was just trying to see if I managed to get anything out of trying to talk to them, that's all.
No, it did seem like they were somewhat swayed by your words, but not, again, it seems like what was all being thrown at them wasn't particularly of their interest, nor did it pertain to the value of these gems.
Gotcha.
But it did seem like they, after speaking to them, they did seem to maybe scooch the price up a little bit.
That's all I wanted to know. 7,500. Yeah, basically. All right, 750 platinum. That should be 125 platinum each.
And if you wish to convert to 2,000 to also platinum, then it would come to a total of 9,500 platinum, split 6 ways.
Plus 180
Basically-
platinum in the reserve in the first place.
Yes.
So you said 9,000.
So 96 to 80 platinum. Divided by 6. Am I hearing that right?
Yeah, 9680. So 161 platinum with some change.
Looks like in total you'd have, with the gold included, just slapped it on to making the platinum, it'd be 950 platinum, plus the 180 you got. By 6 ways, looks like each of you would probably make it out with at least 188 platinum pieces each. Transfer over to gold, it'd be 1,880.
The only downside of large adventuring groups.
You can see a couple of the halflings struggling to pick up this large pewter figure of a giant and move it to the... Looks like they're finding a place for it in the front of their store. It seems like they've taken quite a fancy to it.
Because it's taller than him.
But the same height as them.
Do you need
But
some
they're-
help with that?
No, we're perfectly fine. Our workers are paid well for all of their efforts. Even if it's physical labor, isn't that right? You're, oh, of course, we love it! Ah!
Alright.
I don't think you know it.
Lift with your legs, cousin.
Oh, this sounds like Walmart.
Hey, you finally got the
Oh.
joke. We're in the market, in the wall.
It's right. Oh, I get it.
I about died when I first came here.
Okay. It seems like all of you now have, at least if I'm assuming Samantha splits it up to the party right after in these like nice little these very nicely wrapped parcels. They seem like these like rectangular boxes that just have enough to hold all the coins in these nice little stacks.
Right. So how much do we get?
188 platinum.
180.
188 platinum each.
Oh.
And then how many gold
Handy
pieces?
Gregory his parcel of platinum. Here you go.
What do I do now?
Oh, you go in.
You put it in your bag.
You treat yourself.
Yeah, you buy really nice things with it.
1,800 gold, give or take. Gregory, you do whatever it is you want with it.
Don't spend it all in one place.
Yeah, it can be really easy
Or
to do
do.
that.
Don't do that.
Damn. I haven't seen
All
this
right,
much gold in a long time.
Not since you were young, perhaps.
Yeah, when I did things. Fun things with a lot of gold.
I mean, Gregory, we could go and give it all to the church.
Please don't
Oh,
do that.
yeah.
Well, I mean, they can. Why can't they?
It's
If
actually a
anything,
good idea.
You should get...
That was a joke.
Oh,
What do you mean?
No, I'll take
Charity's
it.
never a joke.
You don't
Yeah.
give all of it to the church.
well, why not?
Hold
Why
on.
not?
What?
Well, I mean, yeah, if Gregory needs it for himself, to buy food and,
He's got
cover-
children to take care of. You can't just give it all to the church.
As I think back, does Nero have armor?
Nope. Nero always shows up naked as the day he was made.
I asked the DM if armor stayed on the horse when he died, and he said no, and I said,
Yep.
Oh, yeah, get fucked.
yep.
Because that's what I would do.
Yep.
I
He still had a
carry
horse.
on. Savage.
I'm not gonna spend 4,000 gold on a 19 health horse so it can fall in the creek and be lost for.
But what's the fun in that?
So bye, guys. As I leave.
Oh, bye, Luna. Have fun.
Wait, she doesn't want to go shopping with us?
No, why would she want? No, she doesn't really like us all that much. I mean,
Kind
she
of
likes
look around the
Samantha.
room and look at Gregory, just like kind of eyeing his parcel, and then hear like the soft footsteps of Luna clinking away, and I just Irish exit. I just slip out after her.
I'm gonna follow you guys.
Are we done?
Irish exit. You don't notice I'm gone until it's too late.
Alright,
Beat my insight. I dare you.
It's got high has a perception.
I guess I'm just gonna go take a look around. We got a ton of time, so I'll probably hit the churches in the morning, Clyde, if you want to go.
Oh, that'd be good.
I might go shop and put some gifts. All right. I guess we'll meet back up with the eagle. Yeah.
Oh, that's good. Persephone, do you want to go shopping together?
I was hoping I could go shopping with Samantha and.
No. I think she left.
Hey, Luna and Samantha. What the hell?
Oh, I'm going by her crawling.
Well, there is one shop that I wanted to see if I could find for a while over
Don't
here.
drink too much, Javen.
Have fun, Javen.
You think this is my first rodeo?
No.
Well,
That was directed at Gregory.
Oh.
I mean, the first time I met you. You enjoy yourself. I won't handpick you too much.
What kind of shop are you looking for, Persephone?
I think it's called Greenhouse, and it's run by Amber. She was one of the merchants that we had saved from Cragmaw Cave during the Monarch Festival, and she's a friend of Lacasta's. And I really wanted to see her place.
Excuse me, person?
Who are you talking to?
Little person?
Looking at the halfling?
Aye.
Oh, the name's Myrtle.
Myrtle.
I think that's my turtle shell's name.
We're looking for something called the Greenhouse or something. Some lady named Amber.
Amber, the greenhouse.
Probably like an apothecary or something.
Yes, there are some stores outside the wall and somewhere between the taverns. There's probably a little greenhouse somewhere out there. I think there might be someone who owns it. I think she's a bit skittish or something.
Oh, that's fine. Is there like any place where you can buy like items of wonder?
Well, if you're looking for a well-made sword, look no better than the wall. Just a couple places down, maybe right to the very edge, you might find someone who has a keen blade.
No, I use a bow.
A bow? Well, they might sell something like that. What exactly do you mean by wonder?
Oh, like this one, like I know this one person, somewhere, they had like this bag that you could like put your hand all the way through it. And then like, I know this other person, in another town really far away that has like this cape that just like kind of makes them not fall so fast. Oh, and
Yeah.
like this, no.
So items with
I
a
better
little bit
not
of a
say.
magical
But this ring
element
can
to
start
them?
stuff on fire.
Oh, please step out of my store.
I'm not going to set anything on fire.
I hope
I have
not.
to do a special thing to do
No,
it.
no, what he means to say is that he's looking for items that have a sort of element of magic to them.
Oh, something odd, you say?
Yes.
Well, sure.
I know exactly where you can go for that.
Oh,
Far edge of town.
Right.
Look for a small dinky shop. It's called Old Ends.
Odds ain't. Wait, I heard that name before.
Wait a second. That's Magnus's shop.
Yes, you know Magnus.
Oh, is he
Everybody
little?
knows Magnus.
Yes! Clyde, we should go.
Okay, but I think he's a little crazy.
We're gonna
Oh,
go.
Magnus
and-
isn't crazy. He's just, well,
Unique.
he's a little. What's the phrase? A kisser of asses. Recently, I took a pain in one as well. Don't tell him I said that, though. He's a cousin of mine.
Is
I
he
think so.
Wait,
Pretty sure he's
putting
cousin.
it on the wall? Do you think he'd have a chance at that?
wait.
Oh no. His storefront, his business ethics, everything he's running is so wrong. The man doesn't take money for items, he simply trades them out of value, makes no interest or profit from it, and yet he doesn't want to be on the wall, he just wants to go to Ingard and kiss every noble's ass and become their pet or whatever.
Oh,
Terrible way to run a business. And yet here he is.
Oh, yes, you know.
We should pay him a
Sh-
visit.
All right.
Anyway.
Well, let's go to Amber's place first, and then we could go there. Is there any place that sells like nice arrows, like silver arrows?
Silver arrows? Yeah, go down to the smith. They'll make some silver arrowheads for whatever needs you have. You want woods? You want arrows made of dark wood? They've recently got a shipment of dark wood in. You ever had dark wood?
Oh, no, but I like the sound of that.
Oh, he would love it. Far from the depths of Lichwood, a strange wood that seems to be able to bend in one's hands, but when thrown into the air or swung with great force, it remains rigid. Strange thing, that dark wood. Would investigate that.
Oh, I'll have to go look at that. Oh, thank you there, Myrtle.
Oh, you're very welcome, Catman.
Oh, my name's Clyde.
Oh, very welcome, Clyde.
You're welcome, not a goblin.
Okay, please
Hi.
get that ring out of my store.
Yes, we're going now. We're going. Okay, bye.
Yep, thanks for everything.
Oh, you too, human. Okay.
Fucking racists.
Nice little feller. Alright, I'm probably just gonna have a look around. I'll see y'all in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Alright.
Have a good one.
See you later, Gregory.
Okay. So, expediting some buying if people are just going out and buying supplies or things. What y'all doing? Trying to get through some stuff.
I'm buying toys and candy.
Awesome. What are y'all intending to do? Like, you're going to Amber's, you're going to Magnus's, to Odds Ends afterwards.
Yep, now go to that Smith too.
Sure.
So at Amber's place, Persephone wanted to see if she had any rare herbs and reagents. She wants to start building a collection, and she wants to kind of get a garden started. So supplies, see
Sure.
what she has, and bring back something for Lacasta.
Gotcha. Okay. And Javen, Samantha, Luna, what are the rest of you up to in your shopping escapade?
I am doing a bunch of shopping for clothes and seeing if there is a process to, I guess in modern terms, bleach my hair.
All right.
Blonde.
You gotta bleach it before you can dye it.
Okay.
Ooh,
And
good.
Samantha.
I'm mostly just gonna tag along and help Luna where I can. With she's receptive to it, like fashion advice, like, oh, not that one. It fits you well, but it's dreadful to look at, and stuff like that. But in terms of things that I actually want to buy, well, I have to see a man about a horse.
Man about a horse.
But not just any horse.
Go get a refund on that braid. Okay,
An
good
evil
shit.
man. But I would be
And
trying.
last-
I would trying to get like a big horse, like
Sure.
one bred for war. That kind of thing would be what I'd be looking
Gotcha.
for.
Okay. And Javen, are you just hanging out, partying while everyone's shopping and doing stuff?
First, he'd do some research, looking around, ask around for ingredients on the drinks he experienced previously. Try to figure out those ingredients and how they make those effects.
Good shit. Good place to do that. Anything else you want to do?
Yeah, and then once he solves that, just spend like the next couple of days pub crawl.
Pub crawl. Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
Doing the usual, the going around, have the smoke with the pipe.
Oh yeah. The usual. Javen got some money, so he's gonna go fucking party. Cool shit. All right. So the way this is gonna be handled, because God forbid, I love you guys, is considering how long some of this stuff
17
would take,
hours
and as much as I
later.
love to roleplay it, what we're gonna do is we're gonna end the session here. But then over the weekend, we're gonna go over some semantics, basically do like a weekish of downtime until basically things come to a head. Gonna go over some of the stuff that you guys did over your little break here in Broken Ridge and enjoy it. And when we come back next session, we'll have been a week after you've been here, when it seems like a messenger has arrived. as limply as it may seem, that is where we will end this session tonight in Broken Ridge.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Wonderful!
Omen hates
Love you
us.
guys.
Me especially.
Omen thinks he knows how he can get around our role playing, but we always fucking manage.
Oh no! I mean, the fun part for me is like when Omen gets involved in the role playing. and then you try to expedite it, and then he starts talking to you in character because he wants to roleplay too, and you're like, wait, but no, you have to sit there and be a calculator, good sir. You can't have fun. No! Get out of here! Stop it!
I'll inject my bits when I want to, but otherwise it's like, okay, this whole conversation about what bags, what coins should go into, maybe it doesn't need to be a conversation. Maybe just be like, I do this. But that's okay, because you guys are enjoying yourselves, and I hope the viewers are enjoying this as well. Song of Rapture is a very story-driven, role-play-driven game. The characters, the players who play the characters, really enjoy to do so, and so we have these moments where we'll sort of, not circle around each other, but we'll just sort of have conversations. It makes for a very natural role-play game. I mean, sometimes the progress is a bit slow, sometimes the pacing's a bit staggered, but it leads to great build-ups, and leads to great climaxes, to arcs, and what we've seen through some of our characters, incredible growth that I don't think you always get in D&D role-playing games. So I'm proud to run this game with my friends.
He called us friends. That's nice.
His friends!
Except for that one.
You should hear when he calls
You
us
know
off
which one you
camera.
You know which one.
You know who you are. Well, I want to thank you all so much for watching. It has been a fun and talkative session, and I think we mostly made progress on a lot of things without too much getting stuck in a loop. So I appreciate you hanging out. I appreciate Flight School 0M for following Natural Plus, Fear and Whiskey, Pan Churros, the Mongordon TX, Jeremy 1980, Jameister 9W, and Genius OR, and Soy Linto. Thank you all so much for following and for hanging out with us tonight, and I really appreciate you. Hopefully you appreciated the game, and hopefully you'll come back for more. We do have, believe it or not, some D&D for you in store this weekend. On Sunday, we will be returning to the Expanse and all of the chaos within, as we are going to war. And, well, there's some things we gotta hammer out first.
Yeah.
That was a terrible pun.
Ha ha.
John.
You want more jokes like that? Be sure to tune in the following Tuesday for our wonderful game,
right.
Kingdom to the South, as we'll be returning.
Fuck, I gotta prep shit.
As we'll be returning to that. And you get to see all of
As the
your
Apex
wonderful.
Alliance stands at the mouth of a great cave, housing supposedly within, looks like some orcish or maybe even hobgoblin forces, a combination of both, who seem to have acquired the cure to a disease that we are now seeking.
Cure to a disease that's gonna it's slowly killing one
I've
of the
been
party
thinking
members.
about that game for a while. I'm excited.
Indeed, you get to see Milo and Katie and all your other fan favorites, like that one guy whose brother left, and yeah, you know, the rest of them. You get to see, Milo, Katie, Lucas, and the other guys. Be sure to tune in this Sunday for...
You can't forget Ptolemy.
Gals.
Well,
Yeah,
the other
how
guys.
do you forget Mr. Tull?
Not here to defend himself.
Aww.
I'd say it to his face. So I certainly hope to see you all this Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern for the Expanse as the Outriders prepare for war, and this Tuesday for the Apex Alliance as they lay siege to this cave and try to retrieve the medicine from within so they can save their ally and comrade Katie and the remainder of the living infected in the town beyond. So be sure to tune in 7:30 p.m. Eastern for that. And then this is the 50th episode of Song of Rapture, so are we coming back this Thursday?
We're coming back.
Nothing's been
You
done.
forced my hand to come back.
Nothing has been done.
Walk to town.
Owen has been
That's
blue
all you
balled on his DM progress. He needs more, damn it. So we're gonna give him more, and we're gonna give you more.
Fast travel, and we were at a loading screen for 5 hours. That's all we did.
So be sure to tune in this Thursday as well for some more Song of Rapture at 7:30 p.m. Eastern and see what, well, missive is in store for us, and to find out what it is we did with all of our time, our week off, and coin lining our pockets. So I hope to see you then. As always, Lineup Gaming is brought to you by our wonderful sponsors, Artisan Coffee, and we still have a wonderful promotion going on with them. They're delectable and tasty and relatively affordable premium coffee, which you can check out at artisancoffee.com. and use promo code LION10 to get yourself a sweet discount and help support the channel. And your support means so very much to us. It allows me to keep buying modules so that I can run something for these people at some point. So, check them out at the link below. Other than that, I want to thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time. And as always, may your dice roll 20s, and you always make your saves.
A basic element like carbon is all that's really needed to create life. Yeah, we found bacteria. We also found water on Mars too. Which is cool because down the line, Mars can be used as a fueling hub because of that. Ryan, thank you for the host. D&D over art start.